got motivated. I got motivated. Quit my 9 to 5 and now they hate. Used to see all their faces. I had to go make some changes. And now I'm elevated. I seen a milli, I got motivated. I got motivated. Seen a milli, I got motivated. I got motivated. Quit my 9 to 5 and now they hate. Used to see all their faces. I had to go make some changes. And now I'm elevated.
Hey, get into the bag. Kilo white tie. TP I got racks. Nation on my back. I'm on my grind, getting the profits, all that I see. Yeah, battle the crazy. Because I know what 5 can do for me. When I'm ready, smashing buttons, get my team paid. Get these pimps down, I'm busting to the home plate. Up through the night, 6 something hella late. Let it breathe, watch the trade start running A. All about the money in my squad, on boss. We smashing, take profits, we slay. Setting up play, get this bread away. We playing dealers today.
I seen a milli, I got motivated. I got motivated. Seen a milli, I got motivated. I got motivated. Quit my 9 to 5 and now they hate. Used to see all their faces. I had to go make some changes. And now I'm elevated. I seen a milli, I got motivated. I got motivated. Seen a milli, I got motivated. I got motivated. Quit my 9 to 5 and now they hate. Used to see all their faces. I had to go make some changes. And now I'm elevated.
Made a million, I'm motivated. Yeah, I'm motivated. I made a million, I'm motivated. All of my haters.
What's up, family? What's up?
You know what we do.
What is the word, family?
I seen a milli, I got motivated.
We are live right now,
I got motivated.
Time for the
Seen
one
a
time.
milli, I got motivated. I got motivated. Quit my 9 to 5 and now they hate. Used to see all their faces. I had to go make some changes. And now I'm elevated.
I seen a milli, I got
Seen a
motivated.
milli, I got motivated. I got motivated. Seen a milli, I got motivated. I got.
Yes, family. What's good, guys? What's going on, family? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. Volume is very low. I got you. Give me 1 second. I got you. Yes. What's going on, family? What's going on? Let me know if you guys can hear me a little bit better now. You should be able to hear me a little bit better now. I actually might be screaming in y'all ears now at this point because I had to change up the mic one time. Yes. So what's going on, family? Super excited to be here with every single one of y'all. Shout out to that boy Devin in the building. King Lions, Tyson, my guy, what's up? Dro, what's up? Tammy, I appreciate you, Tammy, for tuning in as well. What's up, baby? What you doing with Jello? Where did you get Jello from? Woman, I'll give this to you later because you're going to tear up the place. Hold on. What? I'm gunning, yeah. Yes. What's going on, family? How are you guys feeling today, man? I'm feeling absolutely phenomenal. I can't front at all. Give me 1 second, though. Give me a second, family. Give me a second. Give me a second, family. I'm over here just adjusting a few settings real quick. Yeah. Can you guys hear me now loud and clear, family? Let me know in the chat. Can you guys hear me loud and clear still? I'm gunning. Yeah. Alright, perfect. Alright, perfect. Let's get it. So how you guys feeling today, family? How you guys feeling? You guys feeling great? You guys feeling good? You guys feeling bad, man? It is President's Day, by the way, family. It is President's Day over here in the US, so it is a bank holiday for today. In fact, there's actually a couple bank holidays, not just over here in the US, but even in Canada as well, as they have a holiday over there. I'm gunning. Yeah. So that's one thing we have to be very, very mindful of for today. Because of that, I'm probably going to stay away from dollar pairs if I am going to be looking for any ideas. If you're not doing that's okay, yeah. Can't see the price. I got you. Bro. I got you. Watch this. You're gonna be able to see it in about 2.2 seconds. You're gonna be able to see it in about 2.2 seconds, my brother. I got you. Alright, perfect. Give me 1 second, family. I'll be right back. Go ahead and drop those pairs that you guys want analyzed in the chat, family. Drop those pairs you guys want analyzed in the chat one time. One time. Drop those pairs you guys want. I'll be right back. Give me a second, chat. What's up? You trying to trade? All right, family. I'm here. What is going on, family? Super excited to be here with every single one of y'all once again. I'm just making sure everything is good, and I'm making sure that my daughter don't tear nothing up, man. So I apologize. This little girl woke up on the side of terror this morning. This girl woke up on the side of terror this morning. Let's see. Blessed and grateful. I love it. Hedera H bar. You want to look at cryptocurrencies? Okay. You know what's crazy? You guys gotta stay woke. Is H bar? I wonder if H bar is a ISO token. Man, this thing is pushing. Sheesh. This thing is pushing. There we go. You trying to trade? This little girl want to be all up in my face. My girl, if you ain't trying to trade, then you gotta give me my space. Like, we trying to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No? Alright, let me put some minions on for you. Let me put some minions on. Get up there. Not right now. You're not having that right now. No, because I can't watch you right now. Is it a buy or sell?
I'm like, are we any trading? Why does everybody profit except for me? I'm red.
Listen, my girl, you gotta relax though. You could chill on me, but do not disturb me. Can you give me that? Can you give me your word? Can you give me your word?
We haven't even entered into a trade yet.
Can you give me your word? No? She ain't giving me her word, family. I'm about to go leave her to her sister. Coach, I'm red. Why you red? That life is no joke, yeah. Now, parent life is no joke, period. Like, shout out to all my parents in the building. Family, if you guys got any children, go ahead and drop a 3 in the chat, man. Drop a 3 in the chat. Show some love. All right? Because, you know, if you are a parent, then, man, this whole process that you guys are on is even that more important. All right? If you guys are parents in the building, if you guys have little ones that do not allow you to do your thing, then you guys can feel how I feel right now, right? And do not let this little cute face of hers, you know, ignore the fact that she a little terror. All right? And as much as annoying she is, she's the reason why I really do this, though. All right? But let's see what we got here, family. I'll come back to H bar. I want to go ahead and start taking a look at some currency pairs. See what we got in the building. Let's see. We got Swaziland in the house. What is up, family? Let's see. New Jersey in the building. Linda. What's going on, Linda? Good to see you in the building. Euro CAD. Let's go take a look at Euro CAD real quick, family. And again, I will give you guys my thoughts and opinions on USD pairs. But keep in mind, you know, again, it's probably going to be super choppy today for USD pairs, to be honest with you, right? Because, again, it is a bank holiday, family. So I don't mind giving you guys an analysis on it, but just keep that in mind. All right, it is a bank holiday. So US pairs might not really, USD pairs might not really do much. All right, so just keep that in mind, family. All right, also, can you guys go ahead and give me one favor, family? You guys go ahead and smash that like button one time as well. All right, smash that like button, family, one time. I appreciate y'all so much for that. It definitely does help out the stream more than anything, right? So let's go ahead and see what we got here for Euro CAD, because Miss Tammy wants us to look at Euro CAD. So let's go ahead and look at this real quick one time, family. So what do we have here for Euro CAD? Overall, guys, we are literally coming from a pretty strong move to the upside here. But ever since then, you know, we've been very choppy, very range bound, guys, since December, right? So overall, what can we consider the overall bias to be here? Well, we might have to go up even one more time frame here to the actual weekly. All right, we might have to go up to the weekly time frame to really see why price is actually just failing or pausing at this level right here. And if we look at this here on the bigger time frame, I mean, we're pretty much coming back, guys, and retesting a ton of structure levels right here. All right, we're retesting a bunch of levels of structure, which is probably why we're just reacting the way that we are. Now, if you guys ask me, what I would personally like to see here for Euro CAD is I do think eventually we are going to turn around. You know, I do see us eventually going ahead and making some moves to the downside. But before we potentially do that, I would like to go ahead and clear these highs first. Alright, so although I do think we are eventually going to turn around and go lower, I wouldn't be personally surprised. Now keep in mind, right, we also do have liquidity even at these lows as well, right? You know, we have liquidity down here as well. So what I think can potentially happen, right, is either we're going to come sweep these lows first, come all the way back up to the highs, go ahead and sweep this highs, and then from there we can go ahead and potentially target, you know, back to the downside if that's something that, you know, you're very much interested in, right? But, you know, Euro CAD is definitely at an interesting spot. You know, it just, in my opinion, we still have to go ahead and grab some liquidity from, it could grab from either direction. Now, whatever direction grabs first, so like if we drop and we come down and grab this liquidity, I'm going to be assuming that we're probably going to start to go back to the upside now to capture buy side liquidity, right? But if we actually go and go target buy side liquidity first, all right, like hypothetically speaking, of course, everything is hypothetical, right? But what if we actually came up to here, ran these highs, and I would like that a lot more. That would be a lot sexier for me. Right, I would love to go ahead and target the highs first before we actually go ahead and start to really see this thing shift. You know, give us that nice run on liquidity, you know, whatever you want to call it, buy side liquidity, you know, for all the white golf traders. You know, you guys might consider this as a UTAD, you know, create this UTAD up here, and then we can go ahead and start to distribute, you know, all the way back down, you know, to potential levels of previous structure, which are all the way down here. Right, so I would love for this to happen first, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. But that's what I would love to see. Now, if we go ahead and keep on going lower time frame, right, just to really see what the market is currently doing in more relevant time, you know, we had what? All right, we had this crazy sell-off. The market itself just now started to correct, right, creating this more so little bearish pattern in a sense. So this in itself, guys, it looks like there could be, and again, it's interesting, right? Because we did end up running these highs first before we ended up, you know, we ran these highs before we ended up shifting, right? So there could be, you know, this looks like on the 1 hour, it might actually be leaning towards dropping right away for Euro CAD. So just keep that in mind. 1 hour time frame, it definitely looks more primed to potentially actually drop, right? Now, if I was looking at it, I'll probably be waiting for a sell-off of up here, though. Right? If I was interested in looking for some shorts here, right, because that's what I'm looking here on the 1 hour, I would like to target up here at this supply zone, right? Because I am a supply and demand trader, right? I'm a market structure, price action, mainly supply and demand trader. You know, so I would love to go ahead and see if we do have a chance of reaching up into here first before we potentially go ahead and start to fall off. And if that happens, guys, we do have a ton of areas that we could potentially target. You know, all of these lows can be potential targets, guys, that we can go ahead and, you know, start to seek for. Right, so that's very interesting to see overall here for Euro CAD. Now, Euro CAD isn't really one that I personally trade often. I can't even tell you guys the last time I've ever traded Euro CAD, if I ever have even traded Euro CAD. But based on what I'm looking at, that is what I would like to see. Right, I would like to see the market go ahead and make at least one more move higher potentially, and then we can go ahead and start to see this thing, you know, dwindle away. Right, so that's a possibility here, guys, for Euro CAD that you know, could potentially do its dizzle, right? Do its dizzle. All right, so let's see. Need to play that Coco Melon for kids. You know what's crazy? Like, she really does get like when Coco Melon is on, this girl is like super focused. Like no crazy. Like it's no funny. Like she's so locked in, it's not even funny, right? But Coco Melon is Coco Melon, right? I've been hearing a lot of craziness about Coco Melon that just made me yeah, we're not gonna get into that at all. All right, we're not gonna get into that though. All right, so again, this is what I would like to see here, guys, for Euro CAD. Let's go ahead and continue working our way down lower time frames, see if there's anywhere that would be interesting to potentially take a play from, right? Because if we are going to continue bullish, then where can we look for a potential continuation from? Well, I would be interested in seeing how we react right where we're currently at, right? Like actually looking at where we're at now could be very interesting. You know, it looks like we're now starting to capture some liquidity right here. Yeah, I think, you know, maybe a move lower back to this demand could definitely go ahead and trigger it. You know, I'm really talking about this whole demand zone right here. This whole range, right? Maybe if we come back down. All right, now you're touching too much. Come on. Ugh. Maybe if we do come back down here for Euro CAD, maybe somewhere down in this range, this demand zone, guys, we could look for a potential continuation to the upside, right? That would be my opinion, obviously. You know, if I was looking for a buy here, it would have to be probably down here at this demand zone more than anything, right? Right up in this little liquidity pocket that we have here. So that's just my opinion here on Euro CAD. Again, I could be wrong. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, that's what I would be looking for overall. Let's see. Euro CAD, I mean, to buy from last week. Shout out to that boy King Lions. I appreciate you, bro, for tuning in. Shout out to you, bro. You're the first person I saw at home in bed, still on the Zoom talking about charts, and I'm literally doing the same thing 4 years later. Shout out to my guy Will, man. It's been a long journey, brother. I definitely appreciate you, you know, for being a part of the journey, man. Because there's a lot of you guys in the chat family that I've known for a while now. All right, there's a lot of you guys in the chat that have seen my journey, but I've also seen y'all journey, right? You know, so it's amazing to be able to, you know, reciprocate the energy, right? And just give you guys also love as well, because there's a lot of y'all that have been doing y'all thing, right? Shout out to that boy Will being one of them. You know, he's been on here, been consistent for the past few years, and he's doing his thing, man. And I know for a fact he's going to be able to make millions and millions and millions of dollars trading, because he just won't quit. He won't give up at all. Right, so I appreciate you, brother, for tuning in for sure. I appreciate the words, bro. So that's my thoughts and opinions on Euro CAD, though. Let's go take a look at GJ. Somebody else brought it up. I was actually looking at GJ. Very, very interesting play here, guys, for pound yen. I actually do have a setup here for pound yen that I'll give you guys a quick look at. This is what I'm looking at, guys, for GJ overall. Now, for me, I am bullish GJ. I would love for this thing to actually go ahead and just continue bullish. Again, you know, that's my thoughts and opinions. So what I'm looking for pound yen, guys, is potentially something like this, right? So then go ahead and target all of this buy side liquidity that we have here, right? You got to think about it. Think about how many traders right now are looking at this level and they're saying, man, look at this resistance. Man, this resistance looks good. We should sell the resistance. The more touches to the resistance, the stronger it gets. Man, the more rejections we have, the better it is, right? Man, 3 touches, there's no way price is going to break above, right? Blah, 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 right? There's so many different things that people say. So many different reasons why people have to obviously take trades and take their ideas. But for me, I look at something like this, and I see just so much liquidity above here. I see a ton of money just positioned up here. Why is that? It's because, again, just what I just said, right? From a more of a retail standpoint, retail community is looking at this level and they're seeing these rejections and they're like, man, this is a great opportunity to go ahead and sell. And granted, we could possibly sell off, but I don't think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to hold the way that most people will think, right? For me, even if we do sell off a little bit, I still think that there's going to be a great chance for us to go ahead and really continue bullish and target above these highs right here, guys. So I'm personally bullish on GJ. I'm definitely looking for some opportunities to go ahead and get involved to the upside. Now, I will take a look at the markets, guys, maybe looking for potential plays. I mean, there's going to be a few different areas I'm interested in. The first area I'm going to be interested in, guys, is going to be this demand zone right here, this little smaller demand zone that we have here. Right, I would love to see how the market reacts off of here, right, before we actually go ahead and yeah, I would love to see how we react off of there. There's a good chance that we actually do react off of this demand zone here. Now, why do I think that, right? Why am I looking at this demand zone, right? And keep in mind, guys, right, there's also a massive chance that we even spike below here, all right? Because there's also possibly a ton of liquidity down here. You know, we have a lot of this inefficient price action that we could go ahead and fill, right? And I see all that, trust me. You know, I'm definitely keeping that on the horizon as well. But the reason why I really am interested in something like this and this potential demand zone right down here is because of what we just did. All right, look at price action, look at market structure. All right, let's look at this, right? We had this higher high, Market came down, higher low, and then we had a lower high. We created a lower low. All right, so right now this is all corrective market structure, right? This is telling us that we are in a correction because we're now creating these lower lows and these lower highs inside of our range. Now again, that doesn't change the fact that we're bullish. That just shows that we're in a correction because we're doing it inside of the range. But look what happened next, right? We actually reacted once we came down below and we grabbed liquidity below here, right? We sweep these lows, right? We sweep the lows, and then we immediately came back up and also sweep the highs, right? In fact, you know, I ended up calling out buys down here at these lows for all of our premium community members, right? So if you're a part of the premium community and you guys were actually on the live stream that we hosted last week, you guys should also be in this trade, right? So we ended up catching a buy, guys, for GJ down here at these lows, right? Targeting back up to the highs to capture buy side liquidity. Okay. Now, since we did actually create buy side, or we did target buy side liquidity, and since we captured buy side liquidity, we actually created a new demand zone, right? And that's really what I'm trying to play now, right? Now that we actually created a new demand zone down here after we captured liquidity, I would love to see this demand zone actually hold, right? Like, I don't want to see price break this low. If price breaks this demand zone, guys, then we're definitely going to go ahead and continue to break lower below here. And then we'll have to be a little bit more patient to then look for that next continuation, if that makes sense, right? But since we ended up breaking above the highs, we ended up breaking structure to the upside after we grabbed more buy side liquidity, I'm literally going to be assuming that this is going to be a strong low. And that strong low, I would like for it to actually go ahead and hold. Right, so that's what I'm looking, guys, for here for GJ. It's probably the one setup that I'm really going to be more so focused on. You know, it's something that we actually talked about last night as well. You know, on our pre-market session that we hosted. Which, in fact, guys, like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? If you guys want to listen to a banger ass session today, like if you guys want to listen to a banger session, I need you guys to go ahead and rewatch this sometime throughout the day. Right, I highly encourage you guys to go ahead and watch this real quick, right? So I want you guys to go to this channel right here, right? The Profit Society. You know, shout out to all of my Profit Society family members in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Right, but I want you guys to go here to this Profit Society channel and go to the live section and rewatch this video that we did last night. You know, me and the team, guys, right? You know, because I'm 1/4 of the Profit Society collective, and we had a very in-depth conversation on what our thoughts and opinions are for this week, and I truly believe y'all is gonna enjoy this video, right? I mean, how many of you guys were on last night's stream? Family, how many of you guys were on last night's stream? Right, let me know if you guys were on last night's stream, right? And if you guys were on last night's stream, go ahead and let me know in the chat. And I'm pretty sure you guys will agree, man, that this stream last night was an absolute banger, right? And the reason why I say that, family, is because you got to understand, like I said, I'm only 1/4, right? It's me and my 3 partners that are running this channel right here. And we don't always agree on ideas, right? Like we don't always agree, guys, on setups, right? And in fact, a lot of times we actually have disagreements. And those disagreements lead to great conversations, right? Great conversations around the technicals, great conversations around the fundamentals. In fact, last night we was going back and forth heavy. Like, we was going back and forth heavy yesterday, right? Really more so on our thoughts and opinions on various pairs, but it's more so just understanding the fundamental side of things. Because I'm a very big fundamental trader. Like, I love fundamental analysis. I love understanding what the sentiment can be like. All right, I love that stuff, right? I only love it, though, because now I understand it. 3 years ago, I hated fundamental analysis. 3 years ago, I never traded with fundamentals. All right, I was strictly a technical trader. But once I really understood the power of fundamentals, I literally invested 2 years out of my life to truly really get this stuff down pat. And now I feel like, for me personally, I could be wrong, I could be biased, obviously, right? But I feel like I'm one of the best when it comes to really interpreting the news and the data, right? In fact, last year, guys, 2022 was probably one of my best trading years by far, and it's because it was so predictable what the market was going to do because of the fundamentals, right? Like, it was extremely predictable, right? Like, we knew exactly what was going to happen, right? I was calling dollar strength at the beginning of 2022. In fact, I was calling dollar strength at the end of 2021, just because I understood the fundamentals, right? I understood how the economics of it were going to play out. But yeah, I highly encourage you guys to rewatch this. I can guarantee you guys, it is going to absolutely change your guys' perspective in the markets, and it will absolutely give you guys a lot of value that can absolutely increase your guys' ability to trade. Like this session right here alone, family, is one that mentors are charging thousands for, and I kid you not, like I'm not even lying, right? Like this session right here, just the conversations that were had, right, the discussions, people are charging thousands of dollars for it, right? So I'm telling you, I highly encourage you guys to go ahead and rewatch this, and if you guys do go ahead and rewatch the replay, you know, go ahead and drop a comment on that video as well with your thoughts and opinions, you know, whether you liked it, whether you agreed with certain biases or not, you know. But trust me, you want to go ahead and watch that stream. It's absolutely fire, family, right? But like I said, on that stream, I pretty much just analyzed the same exact scenario here for GJ. I'm very interested in seeing us actually come down to this demand zone. I have an opportunity like this, guys, is what I'll be looking for in terms of an actual setup here for GJ, right? Could be something like this, right? You know, obviously we want to give it a little bit of a wiggle room right there for stop loss, but you know, something like this is not a bad idea here, right? Like at all, right? We're talking about entering down here around the 160,700. 160,700 is an interesting level, right? Targets below this low right here, around 3 to 4 pips below those lows for around 160,270, right? And then we can go ahead and target up to the highs around 162,300. Now, again, that's if we're just targeting to the highs. Remember what I told you guys, right? There is a ton of liquidity up here. So just riding it up to these highs, though, back to the top of the range, I mean, that's a good 4-to-1 risk to reward. That's fire, right? A 4-to-1 risk to reward, that's phenomenal, right? That means I'm literally targeting 4 times my risk. Targeting 4 times my risk. So if I'm risking 1%, I'm making 4% on this trade. If I'm risking 2%, I'm making 8% on this trade. All right, so if you are risking 2% and this one actually hits, I mean, that's pretty much passing a lot of prop firms, right? At least phase ones of the prop firms. You know, so this is a very interesting setup, guys, that I'm very, very interested in, and it's something that I'm going to be playing out throughout today. Again, I'm really not going to be focusing too much on USD pairs just because it is a bank holiday, but this is definitely one I want to see if we can go ahead and get involved in, right? So super, super juicy, super interesting level. And just to give you guys a little bit of stuff to talk about, right? Just back to the top of the range is a 4-to-1. But what if we actually do break out, right? In fact, I do think we are going to break out, right? But where can we actually target at next? Well, if it was me, I would be targeting back up to here, right? Around this 165,300, right? And I'm only just using previous structure levels, guys, to actually identify, you know, where I'm looking at, right? You know, but I would like to target, yeah, about here around this 165,300. Now, if we look at the risk to reward now, right? We look at the risk to reward now. I mean, the risk to reward is even, oh my goodness, 11 times our risk, right? 11-to-1 risk to reward. I'll take these trades every single time it shows up. No questions asked. Like, no second guessing. Why? Because for one, it follows my rules as a trader, right? And for two, the risk to reward is freaking phenomenal. Like, freaking phenomenal, right? Listen to what I say, freaking, right? It's like, it's freaking phenomenal. Okay, so that's definitely something I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, guys, for sure. It's definitely going to be this GJ. It's definitely one of my favorites, at least to start the week off. Tomorrow, once we get past this, you know, news event, or not even news, right? But once we get past this, you know, this bank holiday, then tomorrow I'll go ahead and see what the dollar pairs are actually doing. But for right now, this looks very interesting and very juicy to me, guys, right? So let's go ahead and see if we can, yeah, really get this trade here for GJ. Okay, so that's a banger for you guys to go ahead and keep your eyes on if you guys choose to do so overall. All right. Let's go lower time frame, though. Let's see what we got here on smaller time frame. Right? Is there anything we can take advantage of on a lower time frame? Right? Let's go ahead and see what we got here. All right, let's see what we got here. Right? So, lower time frame, we did end up just running this buy side liquidity up here. Now, ever since then, you know, now we're just creating lower lows. We broke structure, right? We pulled all the way back up. We didn't break the highs, but we came back just to retest an area of supply. And then we immediately reacted back to the downside to go ahead and break structure once again. Right, ever since then, obviously, it's been a very choppy. I mean, you guys can see this, right? Very, very choppy price action ever since then. And now we're starting to spike up to the upside. So if I am correct, right, and if I do believe that the market is going to go ahead and go lower down to these levels, then guess what? There could be an opportunity here for us to even, you know, look for some shorts. All right, it's going to be a little bit more riskier in my opinion. Right, but there is a potential for this. Right now, if I was looking for shorts, right? Hypothetically speaking, if I was looking for shorts, where would I be looking for shorts from? Right, well, it's not going to be at this obvious level of resistance that everybody and their mama is going to be trying to play off of, right? Because again, we have to be able to really observe the masses, family, and do the opposite at times, right? Observe the masses and do the opposite, right? I look at this level right here and even these lows, right? It's just levels that are just manipulating traders to assume one thing or another, right? Because again, you know, a lot of traders are probably looking at this level, and hypothetically speaking, if this candle right here that we're currently testing, if this were to close, guys, as like a pin bar or a doji, right? Some things like that, right? Or even if we see a nice little engulfing off of here, think about how many traders are going to start to want to sell that position, right? Because they're seeing resistance hold very strong, right? And because of the candlesticks, they're going to get influenced to go ahead and jump in. Whereas for me, yeah, I get it. You know, we could see a little bit of a reaction. I just don't think it's going to hold, right? If we do see a little bit of a sell-off right now, again, that's just hypothetically speaking, guys, if this was to actually hold right now, right? If this holds, it's to trigger a lot of you traders, right? It's to get a lot of traders to think that the market is going to go ahead and sell off because we're at this resistance point. So even if we do sell off a little bit just to bring some hope in the market for those potential sellers that are going to get destroyed, it's not going to last. Why? Because the market is liquidity driven, right? This market is going to go ahead and target where there's liquidity. There's a ton of liquidity going to be positioned up here. If everybody's looking at this level of resistance and everybody's trying to sell, a lot of orders are going to look like this, right? In fact, I think a lot of you guys probably even think this looks good. And again, there's nothing wrong. It is what it is, right? But if we reject this level right here, I promise you there's going to be a lot of traders that are going to be looking for sells off of this level. And if everybody's looking for sells off of this level, where's everybody's stop loss? Where's everybody's stop loss at? Man. Are you guys with me, family? Drop a 3 in the chat real quick, right? Drop a 3 in the chat real quick. If you guys are with me, drop a 3 in the chat. If you guys are getting where I'm getting at, drop a 3 in the chat one time, and let me go ahead and check on my little terror of a daughter real quick. Oh, never mind. There she is. Hi. Oh, you got block? That's a nice block. Never mind. She came back. All right. So again, I'm not going to be falling for it. Me personally. Like, it couldn't be me. Right? It could not be me falling for it. Right? So please be mindful. And again, for those of you guys that might be just jumping on right now, I am not selling this. I'm using this as an example of what a lot of traders are probably going to be looking to do based off what we're doing here. I don't want to sell this, like, at all. All right, I think we're actually going to go ahead and run this. Reason for it is because everybody else is going to want to sell this. And while everybody else is selling this, all we're doing is creating this pool of liquidity. Right? Big pool of liquidity up here. So guess what the market's going to do? It's going to go ahead and run those stop losses, stop all of you guys out, and then we go ahead and make that next move if that's what we're really going to do. Okay? So this is stuff that we have to be mindful of. Hey, Nye. Give me 1 second, guys. Nyla. Babe, can you watch it real quick? Oh, my God. Look at you, your chips, brother. Why are you even trying that? Can you I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just on the stream. So can you watch her and clean this up? I had to sweep up a whole bunch of rice already. And I'll give you $5. Gotta over here bribe my oldest daughter to watch my youngest daughter. That's the funniest thing in the world. I mean, look at what prices doing now. Prices are already running through this, right? So again, there's a lot of liquidity positioned up here. right, guys? Anytime the market is range bound, keep this in mind, right? Anytime the market is range bound, whenever we are going sideways like this, it is accumulating orders. We are building up liquidity, right? There is liquidity realistically on both sides, above this range and even on the outside of this range. That's why whenever I'm taking positions, I usually do not enter positions inside of the range. Unless I'm targeting, obviously, you know, to do one thing. But more times than not, I'm not playing inside of this range because I know that at one point we're going to break out to capture these areas of liquidity, right? So now that we are breaking out to the upside, this is actually pretty good because now let's go ahead and see what we can look at, right? Because now we have the potential to go ahead and actually play a play here. And I'm actually very interested at looking for some shorts up here for GJ, right? We just ran this buy side liquidity up here. And then we immediately shifted, right? But if we have the ability, if, keyword here is if, I would be very interested in something like this. I would be very interested in something like this. Right? It is a little bit of ways to go. I mean, we are on a 5-minute though, so it can happen really quickly. But if we're able to come all the way back up to retest these highs, all right, come back up, you know, see the market swipe this last little bit of liquidity, feel a little bit of that little imbalance, spike up into that little bit of range, that will be super attractive for me. I would take that all day long. And now let's do our risk to reward check. Risk to reward check. Right, risk to reward check. Right, I see what you're talking about, Joan. Right, we do have these highs up here, right? Which again, I do believe we're gonna target. Just keep in mind, right? I am expecting this thing to eventually go ahead and start flying again, right? But for right now, I'm playing off the structure, right? I'm playing off the structure, right? So I do believe, yeah, we're probably gonna continue to maintain this structure until we get down into here, and then eventually we go ahead and that's not the tool that I wanted to use, but it's kind of cool. Right, then we can go ahead and obviously, you know, target, you know, these equal highs right here. You know, we could target this level of liquidity right here. We could target all the way back up to these highs, right? You know, there's gonna be a lot of different levels of liquidity that we could target after the fact, right? I mean, and granted, right, the market gonna do what it wants to do, family. Family, can we control the market, yes or no? Answer this in the chat, because I believe a lot of you guys think that y'all have the power to control the markets, right? We don't have the ability to control them. So if the market ends up doing something different than what you think, so be it, right? We don't control the markets at the end of the day, right? You know, we just got to take these setups that look good to us, that follow our rules. We need to manage our risk, right? And then we got to just deal with the outcome. I think that's the hardest part for most traders, is actually dealing with the outcome, right? Now, why is it so hard for traders to deal with the outcome of a trade? What do you guys think in the chat? All right, shout out to my little bro, Danny. Appreciate you, my brother. All right, shout out to that guy Kyle in the chat as well. What's up? What's up, Kyle? You'll be surprised always, Rise. A lot of people do think that they have the power to move, that they have the power to move price, right? And they become emotional because it doesn't work out in their favor. You'll be surprised. Right? But this is what I would like to see here, guys, for GJ, right? I would love to, again, force structure to maintain itself right now. We created a lower low. We came up. We still technically created a lower high. We created a new lower low. So now I would like to see a new lower high. And I would just like for that structure to maintain as we are going ahead and grabbing all of this liquidity, right? Because all of this right here, none of this right here is strong. Right? Like all of this right here to the left, all of this choppiness that it took to get up there, right? All of that is not strong whatsoever, right? These are all weak lows that were left behind. Weak lows, weak lows, weak lows, right? So since we do have a ton of sell side liquidity that we can target, not just down here, but we could target this, these lows, even these lows, right? There's a lot of sell side liquidity that we can target, right? So since we do have a lot of sell side liquidity that we can ultimately target, that's why I want structure to hold. I want structure to maintain itself. Okay, so that's why for me, I would be very interested in seeing this newfound lower high created. And then we can go ahead and target all the way back down to these lows, you know, get below this 160,700. And then from there, I'll be looking for opportunities to go ahead and go long once again. Right, so this is my play here, guys, for GJ. I think it looks good. And I'm gonna be taking advantage of it. You know, if once we get to those areas that we can pull the trigger on, then yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna be getting my gun ready, and I'm gonna be pulling that trigger, baby. Why? Because all we gotta do is just push the damn button. Push the button, deal with the consequences, right? I am a professional button pusher. Right? We find the setup, and then we do our job. We push the button, and then that's it. You know, we deal with the outcome, right? So we'll see what happens here, though, guys, right? We'll see if we are able, or when we're able to go ahead and get up into those levels. That will be a very interesting opportunity for us if we are able to go ahead and get all the way up to those highs, right? I will be super, super interested in something like that, okay? Now, what is GJ doing now, right? Now, GJ is just bouncing off the VWAP. The VWAP is very, very powerful, by the way, right? So we are coming up to retest this VWAP. And that's very interesting, because again, that is a very powerful thing. And I'm gonna be honest. Let's see how this ends up closing, right? Because this could be very telling as well, right? You see how we're now starting to reject. If we come back below the range, then we're probably gonna go ahead and drop a little bit more before we go ahead and make that move higher. Okay, but we'll see. You know, we'll see. We'll run it. You know, we'll run it. You know, minute by minute, hour by hour to see how this thing ends up playing out, right? But that's just my opinion here, guys, for GJ. You know, I would love to look for some opportunities to short up here at this 161,600. And then I will really ultimately like to go ahead and buy from down here at this 160,700 or so, right? So I want to sell to buy, right? I want to look for the sell opportunity to then buy it up, right? I want to sell it from up here to then go ahead and buy it up, right? So that's just what I'm looking at here for GJ overall. All right, looks very interesting if you ask me. Very, very interesting, very, very sexy type of setup right there. Right, but overall, we got to just be patient. You know, we are in a 5-minute time frame, guys, so we do got, I mean, it's only a 5 minutes, so this could happen pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going ahead and set up an alert right here at 161,580. You know, and once price does get up there, if we get up there, you know, then I'll be ready to go ahead and pull that trigger. Right, so I'll see what that happens, though, but we do got our alert set for sure. I'm also going to set an alert down here at the downside as well, just to be safe. All right, just in case the market want to do some craziness and just drop right away, you know, then at least we can go ahead and still be prepared for the overall move higher, which is like my main thing that I'm looking for anyways. All right, it will definitely be that move higher. All right, so let's see what the market does. All right, we'll see how the market reacts here for GJ, guys, as the day goes on. Now let me see what else we got here in the chat. Stares at his float as negative balance as I consider my answer. Shout out to you, Mark. What's going on, man? I appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. I feel nothing surprising with people. Yeah, you'd be surprised, man. Again, guys, for those of you guys that are newer to the stream, right? If you guys are new to the stream, if this is your first time ever watching me trade, you know, go ahead and drop a number 1 in the chat real quick, just so that I can gauge the chat. If you guys are not new to me trading, you know, if you guys have been watching me for a while now, then go ahead and drop a 3 in the chat real quick. You know, just so that we can see where everybody's pretty much at in terms of at least understanding how I trade personally. You know, and hopefully I'm able to provide you guys with massive, massive value. Right now, for those of you guys that do end up dropping ones, let me go ahead and I want to introduce myself to y'all, man. Let me introduce myself to you guys, right? So my name is Abel Melendez. I have been trading for 8 years now. It has been an absolute freaking journey. My first 2-3 years of trading was absolutely disgusting. It was atrocious. It was not fun, and it was a journey, right? But if we are being honest, right, those first 3 years of me losing is what ultimately helped me get to where I'm at now, all right? We're now, again, 8 years, you know, I've been trading full time for the past 4 years. I've been a mentor for the past 4 years. It's been an absolute journey, right? But I wouldn't have been here if I didn't go through those first 3 years, right? And I say that to put things in perspective for you guys, right? If you guys are going through the process right now and all you guys are experiencing is more negative results, if you guys are experiencing more losses, more headaches, more heartbreaks because GJ doesn't want to respect what you want to do, then just understand, right? That is helping you build character, right? That is helping you become the trader that you are truly wanting to become. Right, I say this all the time, family, because it's so true, right? I really don't respect a trader that hasn't went through a crazy losing streak or hasn't went through a lot of losses, period, because you don't know how to react or respond to your emotions just yet, right? So if you're just coming in and you're just winning trades consistently, then the real test is going to come once you first blow that account or once you have that first big loss. That's going to be the real test of if you're going to be able to bounce back or not, right? Because professional traders are able to take a crazy loss or a crazy series of losses or go through a losing streak and they're able to bounce back. Reality is most traders are not able to do that, right? Most traders, once they do start to experience all these big losses and these losing streaks, they're so messed up mentally that they're never able to rebound or recover from that. All right, so just be mindful of that, guys, right? Everything that you're going through right now, you have to go through it, right? The good and the bad, right? So if you're experiencing a lot of blown accounts, welcome to the club. Like, I've blown countless amount of accounts when I started, right? Like, I can't even count how many accounts I've blown, guys, within my first 3 years. It was extremely, extremely rough, right? Extremely, extremely rough. But again, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I did not go through those earlier lessons early on. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here, family. Go ahead and like the stream as well, family. If you guys are enjoying this so far, if you guys are enjoying the value, go ahead and just like the stream. Right, the goal for today, at least for right now, is 100 likes. So if you guys are getting some value, family, go ahead and just do me one favor. Go ahead and smash that like button one time. Again, it does do a lot more for me than what you guys might even know, because it just helps the stream go out to a lot more people. You know, we are on the road to 50,000 subs, and hopefully, if I can remain consistent, we can get there. All right. So yeah, no, I do appreciate you guys for showing massive love as well. All right, so let's see. ICT student here. What's going on, Forex Visa? How are you doing? Shout out to you for tuning in for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Newish founder this year. Appreciate that, Sativa. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Let's see. This is a ripoff. Can you show your VWAP? Sure. I mean, the VWAP settings, for the most part, the only thing that I really changed, I mean, I ended up taking off a couple different things, right? But the only thing that I use here for the VWAP is the band multiplier more than anything. I don't care about the actual bands itself, right? All I care about is the actual VWAP, and I just use VWAP multiplier 1. Source is going to be HLC3, so on and so forth, right? So that's what my VWAP is looking like. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Like the stream, so yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Definitely go ahead and like the stream, family, if you guys are getting some value, right? So this is my thoughts and opinions on GJ. Like I said, we will analyze this and we will keep our eyes on that for sure. All right, so let's see what else you guys wanted, right? Because I'm going back to see what kind of pairs you guys were interested in. I see we got Swiss yen. Let's go take a look at Swiss yen, man. Again, I don't know. When was the last time I ever looked at Swiss yen? Sheesh. All right, so what do we have here for Swiss yen? And keep in mind, guys, right, most of the yen pairs are going to be very similar, you know, just because the yen pairs itself are really just moving based off policies on central banks. Now, again, another thing that I got to tell you guys ahead of time, especially for those of you guys that are newer, yes, I am a technical trader, but I love fundamental analysis, right? Like, I'm very, very big on fundamentals. I'm very big on sentiment, and I love to utilize fundamentals first, and then I apply my technicals, right? Which is a little bit different than what you guys see here on YouTube. You know, there's really not that many fundamental analysts here on YouTube, at least in the Forex world, you know, but I am. You know, I love fundamentals. I've been taking the past 2 years, you know, to really, really understand exactly what moves the market, what exactly moves price. And that is the data, right? Not just the data, but it's the sentiment behind the data that's being released, right? So for me, guys, I'm always looking at the markets from a fundamental approach first, and then I utilize technicals to align with the fundamentals, okay? Because the fundamentals is the overall macro outlook of the market, and the technicals is more so the micro outlook, right? What's currently happening. Now, I wouldn't say that there's one better than the other, right? They're both absolutely important because the fundamentals is good for the direction, and technicals is good for the entries, you know, but I think that understanding both of them is super, super powerful. And in fact, that's what really took my trading to the next level, right? Was actually starting to understand the fundamentals and the data. Okay, so that's just something I want to throw out there, right? And I'm saying that because now what I'm about to talk about is why I'm so bullish on a lot of these yen pairs, period. Right? A big reason, guys, why a lot of these yen pairs have been absolutely flying over the past couple years has to do with just the difference in central bank policies. Right? Monetary policies across the board from central banks are completely different. Right? In fact, the Bank of Japan, guys, is the only central bank, the only major central bank that still has negative interest rates. Right? The fact that it still has negative interest rates and that they're still very much easing over there, they're still very much printing, because obviously their inflation isn't as crazy as, say, us over here in the US, that is devaluing their currency like crazy. right? So just keep that in mind, guys, right? The difference in banks and central bank policies is influencing what these currencies' values can actually be. The yen has been getting destroyed easily for the past 2 years because of the fact that there is such a difference in central bank policies, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we got here now for Swiss yen, guys. So overall, obviously we had massive run up. The market did end up coming down, creating this support. And this support is very, very interesting because there is a chance, there's always a chance whenever we have these equal lows up here, that the market does want to potentially go ahead and target those levels before we go ahead and continue. So just a very quick outlook. That is very possible for sure, guys, here on the bigger picture, the bigger perspective, for something like this to actually play out, right? Where we actually come all the way back down to these lows, run these lows, capture all this sell side liquidity before we go ahead and then continue. Now, right, I wanted to throw that out there just so you guys are aware. But does that mean that we have to come down here first or right away? Not necessarily, right? It is there. There's going to be liquidity down here, but that doesn't mean we have to go ahead and just target that level just yet. Okay, that could be there forever. Okay, that could be there for a while, and the market might even want to go ahead and run the highs before we even go ahead and turn around, right? There's a bunch of different plays that we can look at here for, these yen pairs. But what I'm looking at now, guys, here on Swiss yen, I'm going to go back and just start looking at structure, right? So let's see what we have here. All right, we had the market create these lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? Then we eventually just started to correct super aggressively. And then we ended up breaking these highs, right? Which shows potential shift in momentum. So for me, what I would be looking at for this specific pair is if we are able to go ahead and correct some, I would actually be interested in looking for a nice continuation, right? Now, why am I saying that? Well, because we just broke structure, right? Which means we just created a newfound level of demand. Okay, and again, remember, I'm a supply and demand trader more than anything, right? Well, fundamental supply, demand, structure, all that stuff is the same thing for me, right? But if we look at what just happened here, we see the market actually ended up spiking below this little structure point right here, right? We spiked below these lows, and then we had a lot of demand in the market come in. Okay, so if I am looking for a continuation of this bullishness, then it's probably going to be down somewhere down near this demand level. Okay? Oh, man, hold on, guys. I apologize. I'm over here tripping. Oh, man. Oh, man. I hope you guys got that at 100 likes, by the way. Man, we ain't even get to 100 likes yet neither, and it's been up. Oh, man. No, I'm just playing, fam. It's all love, right? But let's go ahead and break this down once again, right? Because I just completely dropped the ball with that. Had it completely covered on y'all. Man, you guys got to let me know. Like, yell at me next time, family. Like, any of y'all that got my number, like, yo, Abel, you bugging, bro. We can't even see nothing, bro. Like, what's good with you? You tripping, bro. Are you high? Like, come on, family. You got to tell me that, man. Y'all gotta start spamming up the chat, man, when I do things like that. Because I do it often for some reason. Because I just be flowing. Like, I just be going. I'm going to be honest. Like, I just be going, family. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and talk about what we were just talking about once again, guys. Start from the top. So, again, Swiss yen. We are very much bullish. We do have sell-side liquidity down here that we could eventually go ahead and potentially target. It is there. I just don't think that we're going to target that just yet. I think that there's just a lot more attractive buy-side liquidity that we can go ahead and target first. In fact, this trend line right here is super, super interesting to me. Just because most traders are going to probably be looking at this trend line, and what are they going to want to do? Right? How many of us are trend line traders in the chat? Right? How many of you guys are trend line traders? All right, because I'm not, and I used to be, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with it, family. If you're profitable using trend lines, listen, do not let nobody stop you from doing what works for you. Okay, that's the one thing that I really can't stand about this niche, right? Is that there's egos out the ass. Egos are annoying as hell, and that I can't stand when people have egos, bro. What works for you works for you. Do not let nobody try to change what is working for you. Okay? So if trend lines work for you, by all means, keep using it. Okay? Don't let none of these freaking random people on social media or YouTube try to get you, to change that. But the way that I look at the markets, right? The way I look at the markets, I look at trend lines not as areas of entry, but I look at trend lines as areas that we could potentially go ahead and run through, right? And the reason for that is because, again, think about it. right now, a lot of traders are going to come in and they're going to be like, man, look at how many touches. 3 touches confirms the trend line. In fact, 3 touches or more makes that trend line stronger. Now, let's talk about this real quick. Is it true? And I want you guys to answer this in the chat. And I appreciate you guys as well. We're 7 likes away, family, from going ahead and getting 100. Please, 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 the next 7 of you guys that actually do likes the stream, I would formally give you guys a grand high five virtually. All right, but I appreciate y'all, right? But let's talk about this trend line thing real quick, right? And this is the reason why, again, I'm very iffy and I don't use trend lines like I used to no more. The whole thought process behind trend lines is what? What do they tell you guys? Right? What do they tell you guys, right? They say 2 touches of a trend line creates a trend line. Okay? Let me say this again. 2 touches creates a trend line. 3 touches validates the trend line, right? How many of you guys have heard that before? How many of you guys have heard that before, right? 2 touches creates a trend line. So technically this right here creates a trend line. And this 3rd touch validates the trend line. Am I the only one that heard that before? There's no way, right? There's no way. Now, the whole concept behind this, and the reason why I'm getting at that, guys, is this, right? Because now, what most traders will tell you is that this trend line is extremely, extremely strong because it has 3 touches. But in fact, we have to start thinking about the opposite way of approaching these trend lines, right? Because the more touches to a trend line does not make a trend line stronger. That is a myth. That is not a fact. In fact, the more touches to a trend line, it makes that trend line not stronger. It makes that trend line more visible. Oh, man. Don't let this go over your head, family. Please don't let this go over your head. The more and we got 100 freaking likes, man. I love y'all, man. Let's go. Let's go, family. I appreciate y'all so much for the 100 likes, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I promise y'all to give y'all, for 1, virtual high fives, like I said. But for 2, you know, always go ahead. I'm really about to give you guys some real sauce today. I'm really about to give y'all real value, right? So let's go, right? But I do want to just throw this up there. 200 likes. Let's get 200 likes. Let's get 200 likes, family. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I know we can get 200 likes by the end of the stream, right? New goal is 200 likes. I'm going to make sure I also take that down as well. I'm not going to leave it up like I did. Right? So again, 2 touches creates the trend line. 3 touches makes it strong, quote unquote. But you have to understand, the more touches to a trend line does not make it stronger. Do not let nobody play you. The more touches to a trend line makes it more visible. Write that down, family, because that is a bar. That is a nugget. That is a gem. Right? That is a golden ingot. Right? That is a golden ingot. The more touches to the trend line does not make it stronger. It makes it more visible. And if it makes it more visible, then what do you think smart money is going to do to that trend line? Answer that in the chat. Answer that in the chat. Right? Answer that in the chat, family. Thank you, babe. You're welcome. Man, family, can we go ahead and drop some W's in the chat for my wifey? Drop W's in the chat, man. She got me my nice little caramel crunch frappe. I love it. If you guys think I got energy now, oh my goodness. Watch when I get this in my system. Y'all gonna really call me crazy. Y'all gonna really call me nuts. W's in the chat for wifey, man. Let's go. Let's go. You know what, Thomas? I'm gonna ask her as well. I'm gonna ask her as soon as she gets back if she got you one, bro. If she didn't get you one, Thomas, she gonna have to do some explaining. I'm gonna be honest. Cause she should have knew to get you one, bro. And I don't play when it comes to you guys, like for real. But I got you, bro. So again, like I said, right? If the trend line, and I want to continue to keep on touching on this, because I need you guys to really get it, right? Because it's gonna be a complete paradigm shift from what we're initially taught here in trading, right? The more touches to a trend line does not mean that it's stronger. The more it touches to a trend line means that it's more visible. And if it is more visible, then that means that the smart money, aka the institutions, the banks, right, the big boys, they can now see where there's liquidity positioned. Oh. And if they understand where there's a lot of liquidity positioned, this market is liquidity driven. It's going to go towards where there's liquidity. So now, if we have sellers up here, right? If we have sellers up here, if we have sellers right here, all right? If we have more sellers that entered here, more sellers that entered here, right? This is a lot of different sell positions, right? There's a ton of people that are selling at these levels, right? Clearly there was, because obviously the market shifted. But now that we have all of this visible liquidity up here, that's why more times than not, this trend line is going to get slapped around. Right? So again, there's nothing wrong with trend lines per se. You just got to understand how to perceive these trend lines. You got to understand how to play these trend lines. You got to understand, guys, what the trend lines are there for and how the institutions leverage trend lines. Oh, man. This is some bars, man. This is some bars. Oh, man. Fam, is this making sense or do I need to go a little bit more simplified? Is this making sense? Let me go ahead and catch up with the chats real quick. Let me see what we got here. Man. Let's see. Well, while he is coming out there, he even showed his face on the first interview the other day. He talks. Let's see. Are you ICT? So I know you're talking about. I saw all that you are saying, but I'm telling you, you have never fully watched this video. Then you don't have nothing to say. I see you guys are over there going crazy about a whole nother trader. Like what? Let's see. I've been following you for some quite time, but some of my setups does not play. Where do I lack? I mean, there's a lot. I mean, that's just too broad of a question for me to answer. I'll have to like really see your markups and things like that. Let's see. What do you mean, student watching this free course on student of all trading and markets? All right, man. You guys are going crazy. You guys are going crazy arguing about a whole nother man. Let's see. How do you make your entries? I got you. All right, I'll get into the entries in a second, right? I got to educate first, right? I got to educate y'all on this stuff, right? I got you. Don't worry. Let's see. You should franchise into Starbucks, but I'm telling you, Cheeto. All right, I spend too much money a week on Starbucks. It's actually pretty crazy. Are you saying it doesn't work for Forex? This guy's stream, but yeah, you guys are Forex, Visa, man, and Always Rise. I love y'all, man, because you guys are definitely the ones. You guys are definitely the way. Hey, man, listen, you guys are at least keeping this, the chat active, right? Which is cool. All right, so let's see. Hey, what's your thoughts on expert option as a broker? I never heard of expert option, so I don't have an opinion on that. SMC 100%. Yeah, so again, guys, that's why for me personally, I would love to see this level here for Swiss yen, this demand zone actually hold, and we go ahead and we run through that trend line, right? We absolutely smash through that trend line, all right? So again, that's just my thoughts. That's my little rant here on trend lines, right? Like I be going on these little rants, feel me, and hopefully you guys are getting some value from it. But I do be going on these little bit of a rants, but them rants are absolutely super value, right? Super valuable in my opinion. All right, so yeah, so I will be looking for more demand zones to buy from here on Swiss yen, right? So if we're able to go ahead and get back below this level right here, right? If we're able to get back below this 144.800, then there's a great chance that we are going to go ahead and make our way down to there, right? So that could be also a potential opportunity that you take advantage of, right? If you wanted to go ahead and sell to buy, right? If you wanted to sell to then buy there, then I would wait for this market to come back below this 144.800 level. All right, that's what I will personally wait for, right? I'll wait for price to get back below 144.800 and then go ahead and look for some reasons to short. And then from there, again, I will be personally look for some buys off the demand for sure. All right, so that's just my thoughts on Swiss yen. Again, I don't really look at Swiss yen too often. Just wanted to go ahead and touch on that a little bit for you guys real quick. Now, let me see what else you guys got. Guys, go ahead and drop those pairs in the chat as well that you guys want analyzed. The other ones that were dropped are all the way up in the chat, and I just don't want to go all the way up there to find it. All right, so let's see. We got here GBPJPY. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're talking about regular pound dollar itself, because we can take a look at that real quick right now. Again, I keep on saying this is important, guys. There's a lot of bank holidays today, right? Over here in the U.S. family, please be mindful if you are trading dollar pairs. It is a bank holiday with President's Day, so it could get it could be very choppy and very disgusting very easily, right? But if I am looking at something for pound as a whole, all right, for pound as a whole, I would love to really see this thing go ahead and potentially just make its way higher for now. Possibly run these highs, but then I'm selling the hell out of it. All right, I would love for us to go ahead and rebound back up, clear these highs right here above the 1.24, but then I will start to look for opportunities to go ahead and go short. That's what I will be looking for the pound itself as a whole. Right, now let's go and look at pound yen. You know, because pound yen, guys, is something that I'm already looking for. You know, it's an example that I already gave out to everybody. There's actually ideas and setups that I'm actually interested in as well for pound yen. All right, so let's go ahead and give you guys what I'm looking at now for this pound yen trade. You know, so anybody that is looking to go ahead and want to, you know, trade GJ, this will be my setups for today. Right, you know, now that we did come here and we just ran this liquidity that was above this little bit of a range, I'm not falling for it. I still think that we're going to go ahead and continue going higher. I still believe that this level could just continue to attract a lot more sellers, which is only going to continue to build a lot more liquidity. And I want to see the market go ahead and completely run this level. Right, at the very least, come back up and run this wick. Right, like these wicks, guys, again, and that's just another thing that we have to really talk about, right? Like wicks, right? So many traders look at a wick and they're like, man, that's a big wick, bro. There's no way the market's gonna go back up there. And that's just not true, right? Like this wick right here, guys, more times than not is gonna get absolutely destroyed, right? Like how many of you guys, and not necessarily you guys, right? But think about like the regular trader, right? The regular trader is gonna look at this whole level right now. They're gonna be like, man, look at this massive rejection. Listen to the keywords I'm saying, right? Look at this quote unquote rejection. Left the wick behind. Right? So think about how many orders were just placed all because of this one 10-minute candle. Right? There's probably a lot of sell orders that were just placed because of how we just reacted here. And granted, the market could very well drop, right? It could. I'm not saying it's not. But more times than not, wicks get filled. Thank you, Thomas. See, Thomas, that's why I owe you a Starbucks. Wicks get filled. Guys, say it with me. Wicks get filled. Say it with me one time. Wicks get filled. Write that out somewhere. That's a bar. Wow, this shit is busted. Damn, whoever made this frappe put their foot in it. Wow. That's a good one right there. Wicks get filled, family. Remember that. All right, so next time you try to take a trade just because you see a solo wick, yeah, you might want to be careful with that. Right now, it's not to say it doesn't always play out, because again, the market gonna do what it wants. But more times than not, wicks get filled. Right? Wicks get filled. So if I was looking for a trade here on GJ, and if I was looking for a trade before up here, like way before we get up to that level, what I would want to see now is how we react after we fill the wick. Right? So like if we go ahead and we fill this wick and then we start to reject, see, then we have a case for maybe an actual trade to go ahead and go down. Then we can start to go ahead and make a bias to look for some shorts. Right? But until this wick gets filled, hell no. Right? We got to stay on the sidelines. We can't rush it. Right? We got to be extra patient and let the market do what it got to do. Because when the market do what it got to do, then we can do what we got to do afterwards. Oh, man. Oh, man. Y'all with me on this? And I like to always just confirm, because for one, I just love engagement. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I love seeing the chat active. I love seeing you guys answering the questions. I love seeing you guys, you know, dropping your thoughts and opinions. I love all that stuff. Like, that's just me. I love the interactions, right? You know, yeah. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Look at that wick at 3 a.m. Wick at 3 a.m. Let's see. Yeah, I'm seeing these wicks up with these highs. That's for damn sure. Let's see what we got here. 3 a.m. wick. Are you talking about these ones up here? I mean, this whole sequence up here is very suspect. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this equal high up here is very, very suspect. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Right? Like, it really is. Right? Like, this looks extremely suspect up here. Like, extremely, extremely suspect. But the reason why I'm still comfortable with this trade, dang, now you guys got me thinking about this thing a little different. Hold on real quick, family. Now y'all got me really... Nah, I'm not gonna let y'all steer me. Yeah, I like this still. This still looks very, very juicy. Right? We do got these equal highs, which is, again, a little suspect. You know, there's liquidity up there. So there is the chance, for the market to might want to run the high completely. And then we start to sell off. That's a big chance. That's a big chance. I ain't gonna lie. There is a chance for that. But I would like to go ahead and I would still like to go ahead and enter where I'm entering at, around this 161,600. Just because I think it's a very interesting level. And I'll just, I'll have my stop loss in a spot just to protect myself in case we do want to go a little bit higher. Right, but yeah, this thing looks super, super interesting here, guys, right? Super interesting. Right, now look at GJ. Right, look at GJ now, right? So we pretty much didn't fill the whole wick, but we did feel a little bit of a good amount of this wick, right? Now look at the reaction that we're getting, right? So now that we actually came back up and retested this entire wick, what can we see? Is there a chance for this thing to go lower? Possibly. Possibly. All right. Maybe if we see something like this, then I will be possibly interested just to look for down here and then just wait on this a little bit later. That's a possible play. All right. Again, we are on a 2-minute time frame, so we are on a much smaller time frame, guys. Right, where a lot of things can still happen, right? So if we do run this low right here, I might take a little short-term sell right down to these lows. All right, because if we do run this low right here and we actually hold this level, we also have these equal lows down here at the lows. Right, at that point, we're probably going to want to go ahead and do something like this instead, right? We'll probably go ahead and run these lows one time, capture all this sell-side liquidity, and then from there, we go ahead and make our way all the way back up to the highs before we go ahead and see something like this, right? Again, we're on a 2-minute time frame, so there's a lot of different scenarios that could play out, and everything that I'm still saying could be very much valid. All right, so that's going to be interesting. I'll actually keep my eye on this GJ with you guys to see how we actually play out. In fact, I'll actually put an alert here as well. Let's put this alert. All right, and if we do end up running these lows, I'll be alerted of it, and then we might be able to go ahead and see what the market gives us overall. All right, but yeah, that's my GJ. Very interesting. I know it's a lot. I know I talk a lot. I know I explain a lot. But I'm an educator, right? That's my thing, right? Like, yeah, that's my thing, guys. I'm an educator more than anything, right? I love teaching. So yeah, this is pretty interesting, pretty dope. Let's see what we got here. Hey, well, do you still trade DeLorean, right? So not necessarily, but I still keep the concept in mind. Right, because you guys want to know something, like, again, and this is for anybody that knows me from where I come from, right? Like, for those of you guys that don't know, I was an educator for probably a lot of y'all's favorite company, and I'm being funny when I say that, right? It's like the most hated company in the world for whatever reason, right? But I'm an actual former IML educator. I know some of y'all might have said, like, damn, this dude is an educator for IM. Yet best believe it, I was, right? Why do you think I have so much information, so much knowledge? It's because they hired me to actually come on and do the same thing I'm doing with y'all today, right? And me being an educator for that platform, there's a lot of different strategies, that I was using, right? But let's go ahead and break this down real quick, right? So for anybody that is familiar with the DeLorean style, right? The concept of DeLorean was what? We had the A range, right? We had the move higher to capture liquidity, manipulation, right? And then we had the move lower, okay? Keep this in mind, right? Again, from DeLorean, this is what it was. A range, the vector to the highs. Or wait, what was this? I honestly forgot what the terminology. I haven't used it in a while. What's the terminology, family? All right, we got the A range. Then we got the move to the highs to capture liquidity. And then we got the vector. And then, okay, so we got the vector to the highs. And then we got the DeLoreans obviously going in the direction of what we think, right? Yeah, that's how it is, right? But just keep in mind, like, look at this. The reason why, for one, again, I don't use the DeLorean, and I still technically do, is because it's similar concept to smart money, right? It's a similar idea. Okay, from a DeLorean standpoint, we have the A range right here. Okay, and I'm gonna type this stuff out so you guys can see it. We have the vector to the highs, right? And again, I know some of you guys have no idea what this is, so just bear with me. I'm gonna get to the smart money side of things, right? And then we have the DeLorean to actually go ahead and ride out the move to the downside, right? A range, vector to the highs, and then the D-Lo going in the direction of the trend. Now, if we look at smart money concepts, what is the theory there? All right, well, it's going to be the same exact thing, right? We have the market building up orders, accumulating, right? It's just going to be different terminology. We have accumulation, right? We have accumulation. We have the move higher, the grab on liquidity, which we're going to call manipulation. Manipulation. All right. And then we have the move to actually go in the direction, which is what we're going to call distribution. It's not exactly word for word for, you know, obviously smart money, just because I like to use my own terminology. But yeah, you know, this is the same exact thing, right? From a DeLorean standpoint, the only thing that's different is that DeLorean relied on moving averages, right? DeLorean relied on how the moving averages played, all right? That's literally how DeLorean relied on. It relied on moving averages. Whereas for me, I don't necessarily use the moving averages like that no more. Why? Because I understand what the overall bigger concept is, right? We have accumulation, we have the manipulation of price to grab liquidity, and then we have price distributing. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? All right, this is mainly for, let's see, who was the one that asked that? It's mainly for you, Sam, right? Similar concept. Similar concept. Same exact pattern, by the way. Right? It's the same exact patterns across the board. It's just, again, you know, as traders get good, you know, traders want to go ahead and rebrand certain things. You know, they want to go ahead and make it their own flavor. So they just go ahead and add different things. They change a bunch of wording around. But the patterns all stay the same. Right? The patterns are the same regardless. It's just, again, educators now want to sell their content. And then that's when they go ahead and they start to rebrand certain things just to make it fit so they're able to sell it. But that's really the reality of it is, right? But it's the same exact thing, right? So yeah, technically I do the D-Lo. I just don't call it D-Lo, and I don't use the moving averages. All right, let me go ahead and get this all out here. All right, cool. All right, so that's, yeah, so that's that. Hopefully that made a little bit of a sense for you guys that are watching for sure, right? And I appreciate you guys too for following, guys. You guys are absolutely savages. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. You guys are all amazing. Starbucks on me. I'm gonna order you guys all a Starbucks for showing me massive love, because I do appreciate you so much. Thank you guys so much for everything. All right, so let's go ahead and see now what we got here, guys. So again, I'm gonna keep my eyes here on this GJ. We are running these lows right here. All right, we did actually spike below these lows. You know, if we can go ahead and really break below this wick, because this wick right here can also get filled, right? But if we really continue, there might be a play here. Right, there might be a play here. I'm not gonna lie. There might be a nice little short-term play that we could play. Right, possibly targeting right back down to these lows. If we actually continue showing this momentum, like what I need to see now for GJ is I need to see us break out this range. Which we technically already are. All right, but I really want to see a little bit more, then a little bit of a pullback, and then we can go ahead and take that. Then we can go ahead and take that. Let's see. I was one of your students. Shout out to you, Kevin. I appreciate you for tuning in. Let's get it. Appreciate you. Free zone. My guy, Lou. What's going on, Lou? I appreciate you as well, my brother. Check out Oil. Yeah, I could check out Oil in a second. Just give me 1 sec. I really want to monitor this GJ one time so we don't, because this could give us a play. I want you guys to be aware of that. It could give us a play. All right, so we'll be monitoring this for sure. Let's see, that's how I know. I am got me here. Shout out to those educators. I was there for 2 years. Yeah. What do you think about Bookmap? I'm not sure what Bookmap is. All right, I'm not sure what Bookmap is, to be honest with you. All right, so if you have a website, I would definitely go ahead and look into it for you. But I can't give you an answer on something I don't even know, right? I'm just being honest, right? I don't like speaking on things that I don't even have knowledge on, right? I'm not going to be one of these other people trying to just make some stuff up to try to sound cool. Like, I don't know what it is, bro. Like, I will do research on it, though. That's for damn sure. You know, so yeah, you know, send me some information and I'll look into it. Right, but yeah, this is a potential play here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Potential play here. And we're talking about 6 pip stop loss, targeting back to these lows. I mean, yeah, it's only 22 pips, but don't worry, don't. Oh man, I feel another rant coming. I feel another rant coming. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, let's get into this rant real quick, family. So again, the reason why, and I want to talk about this because it's so important, right? Because a lot of people are gonna be like, Abel, man, you're only going for 20 pips. Yes, because that's what this setup is calling for. Yes, because that's what this setup is calling for. Yes, because that is the setup is calling for. Now, the reason why for me, I don't care about how many pips the stop loss is. I don't care about how many pips the target is, because all that stuff is really irrelevant. Family, if my focus is playing in the risk to reward, that's my focus. Right, so this setup right here is a 3.68 to 1, which means I am targeting 3 times my risk. So if I'm risking 1% here, I'm going to be making 3.5%. It doesn't matter what the stop loss is. It doesn't matter what the target is, right? For this example, at least, I'm making 3.5% my risk. Okay? The only thing that's going to differ when it comes to this trade right here, right? Whether it's a 6 pip stop loss or whether it's a 13 pip stop loss, is the size of the actual position. The size of your stop loss is what's going to dictate how big your lot size is. But you have to make sure it still stays within your risk perimeters. So if you're risking 1%, then your 1% is going to be 1% no matter how big the stop loss is. Your 1% is 1% even if you have a 100 pip stop loss or if you have a 2 pip stop loss. 1% is 1%. That cannot change. What changes is your lot size. That's what has to change. So for me, I'm very comfortable with something like this. And I'm not in it, by the way, AJ. Shout out to you as well, AJ. Shout out to you for tuning in, my brother. Right? I'm not in nothing right now. Right? I'm not in no trades right now. At least for GJ, right? At least for this example of GJ, right? I am in some GJ shorts, just to be transparent with you guys. Not shorts. I am in some GJ buys from last week. Right? I am in some GJ buys that we caught last week. That is something that we're in. That is something that we're in. Some GJ buys from last week. But for today and for this week, I'm not in anything just yet. All right. So again, like I was saying though, guys, right? What changes is not your risk. Your risk does not change. What changes is just how big your stop loss is, right? For an example, right? Let's go ahead and bring up, a position size calculator, right? Let me go ahead and sign into the Profit Society real quick. Shout out to you guys all that's a part of the Profit Society family. If you guys are a part of the PS gang, go ahead and drop a PS in the chat. Right? If you guys are a part of the family, the familia, the Profit Society gang, then go ahead and drop a PS in the chat one time. Right? And if you guys are not a part of the Profit Society, right, that is a collective community with myself and 3 other phenomenal traders that I have that I work with. Right? And if you guys do want to have access to the Profit Society, go ahead and join, right? You guys can go right to profitsociety.co, create an actual account here. You guys can see it's pretty much like a damn near social media platform, right? In fact, what does this look like? It looks like Twitter and Facebook. In fact, it looks like if Twitter and Facebook had a baby, right? If Twitter and Facebook had a baby, Profit Society is born. Right? So you guys can go there, right? But let's go ahead and look at the tools real quick. I want to go ahead and bring up the position size calculator real quick because I have to teach y'all this, man, because it's so important. It's so important, right? All right, so let's say we're looking at Euro USD. Let's say we're going to use the exact same perimeters, $10,000 account. Let's just go with a 30 pip stop loss to start. Right, let's go ahead and say we're risking 2%, whatever the case may be, right? Let's go. Actually, matter of fact, let's change this to GJ. All right, let's change this to GJ just so we can really keep it with what we're actually looking at right now. Okay. What is this? This is like glitching or something. I don't know. Give me one second, family. Is this thing glitching? Is this thing glitching? Why is it changing this to that? That's That's a little weird. I'm gonna have to get that fixed. It's like, I don't even stutter like that. I'm just tripping. I told y'all, man, this freaking frappe is gonna have me off the wall here shortly. This frappe gonna have me spitting raps like I did last week. This frappe had me thinking I was a rapper last week, family, or 2 weeks ago. I'm just being honest, right? The frappe be making me feel like I could rap and sing and all types of stuff, right? So I'm chilling. But let's go ahead and do this real quick, right? Because again, it's very important for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. All right, so account size, let's say we have 10,000. We're only gonna be risking 1%. All right, now look at the difference here, right? Stop loss is going to be around 50 pips to start. Let's go ahead and calculate. And with this perimeters, we are risking 1%, which means we're risking $100, 50 pip stop loss. Our position sizing is going to be a 0.27. Our position size is a 0.27 for this trade with a 50 pip lot size. That's risking 1%. But what if we had a 20 pip stop loss? Well, guess what? Now we could throw a 0.67 lot size. Did that change the 1% that we're risking though? No, it didn't. Right? The 1% stays the same no matter what. What changes is the size of your stop loss. So even if we had a super tight stop, let's say we're snipers now, right? Let's say we actually work for the U.S. military, right? And we're all snipers in the market, right? And we're able to catch crazy entries with super small stop loss. So let's say we have a 5 pip stop loss. Now we could throw 2 standard lots. But does that change how much we're risking? No. We're still risking $100, aka 1%. AKA 1%. Right? So we're still going to be risking the same amount. The only thing that changes is the actual size of the stop loss. So even if we do take a trade right here for 6 pips, 6 pip stop loss, all right, guess what? Our lot size is going to be a little bit heavier. We can throw a heavier lot size now simply because our stop loss is super tight. Now, if our stop loss was all the way up here, then obviously our lot size is going to be a little bit smaller. Because now we have a lot more room, or not a lot more wiggle room that we have to play with. So that's just something to keep in mind, family. That's just something to keep in mind, man. And I hope this is making sense, family. Because again, this is so important for you guys to get. So important. All right, so we do got GJ here now. Again, GJ is very interesting to see where we're at. We are reacting very nicely, or we are reacting off of this level. I'm honestly still not even too much of a fan, guys, of these areas, to be honest. Like, I'm really still not of a fan of this level right here. All right, I would realistically love to see GJ make its way up here before I look to sell. All right, I would love to see GJ come up to here. All right, like this is really where I want to see this thing go. Right, so it's here, and there is a chance for this thing to drop. But for me, I don't like it. That's going to be more of a high-risk opportunity. And granted, you could just take some jabs at it. You could take a stab at it, risk maybe 0.5% if you want, just to see if it does work out. But I'd rather just wait. I'd rather wait to see if we can get up here. Right? This is really where I have super confidence in this. Right? Get right above this level of structure, previous resistance, feel a little bit of the imbalance, inefficiency, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, right? And then once we do that, then I will be very interested in looking for this thing to go ahead and short, and then we can go ahead and start targeting sell side liquidity. All right, so that's what I would like to see here, guys, for GJ overall. Right, so I'm gonna be patient. All right, again, if you do decide to take it from right here, I mean, do your thing, right? Stop loss is gonna be right above these highs. Right, you do have the VWAP that's also helping you, right? So the VWAP is a very good confluence right now. So if you are looking to short this for whatever reason, there is a possibility that it does play out. Just make sure your stop is where it needs to be, right above the highs, right outside the VWAP. And then you can go ahead and do your thing and target to the lows. But for me, I'm going to wait. Right? I'm going to wait. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for see if we can make it up here personally. And then I'll go ahead and I'll jump in. All right? That's just me. That's what I would like to see overall, guys, here on GJ, right? I'm waiting to see up here. But there is a chance for this market to go ahead and just drop right from these levels. Overall, the target, though, is going to be below here no matter which way you do. Whether you sell it from here or you sell it from up there, the target is going to be below these lows And I also believe as well that we're also going to go ahead and target, you know, all of this as well. All right, let me make this a little bit thicker so you guys can see what I'm talking about, right? Actually, I'm going to change the color as well. I'm going to make this a red. Right, so all of these lows right here, right? All of this choppiness, like all of this is still also liquidity. Right? All of this is liquidity, guys, that was left behind as well. Right, that we could potentially go ahead and target. So yeah, we're going to clear these lows over here for sure, right? These relative lows. And I also believe we're probably going to continue and even come all the way down and clear these lows at around the 16800. You know, just so that we can start grabbing all of this sell side liquidity that was left behind, come into this low down here around the 16700, fill a little bit of these imbalances, and then we can go ahead and start to see this thing move back to the upside, in my opinion. Right, so that's literally how I'm going to be playing GJ. You know, again, it's probably one of the only setups that I'm really interested in for today, to be honest with y'all. I'm really predominantly trading USD pairs more than anything, but you know, it's a bank holiday today, so I'm chilling on the sidelines with those USD pairs for real. Let's see, I just drank Bank Energy shot. I feel the same way, Gage. This thing is good. I already wake up with super energy every single morning just because I'm so happy and blessed and grateful that I'm alive. I wake up super energetic no matter what. But when I get one of these bad boys in my system, ain't nobody could tell me ain't nobody could tell me a damn thing. Like at all, right? When I got one of these in my system, oh man. It's game changer. It's game changer. Absolutely game changer. Absolutely game changer. All right, so yeah, that's where we're at for GJ. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be waiting, guys, to see if we can make it up here. I do have the alert set. We are on lower time frame, so it could happen. You know, it could happen soon. It might take some time to happen, right? But that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be waiting for that. Now, if anybody did end up taking this position right here, I mean, this thing is going good for y'all. If you guys did decide to, you know, pull that trigger, you know, again, I did say that there is a chance that it could play out. You know, we actually did end up running above these little highs right here. Right, like little like things like this, guys. How we came up and we spiked above this wick right here. Remember, wicks get filled. Wicks get filled. Remember what I said? Wicks get filled, right? So the fact that we came up, we filled this wick, we grabbed above it, and then we stayed below the range. There is a good chance that this thing does continue. Right now, we're probably going to easily take out these lows. Again, I'm not in it. I'm fine if I'm not in it because I still want to look for the higher pricing anyways. But you know, it's playing good for anybody that was interested in something like that. All right, it does play good. All right, so let's see what else we got here, guys. Let me go ahead and take a quick look at the rest of the market. I know somebody has said oil. Somebody had asked about oil. Now, I really don't trade oil too much, more than anything. But I will give my thoughts and opinions on what I think can happen here, right? Just so you guys are aware of what's up. Oh, baby, Thomas in the chat, baby?
Yes.
He said, where's his coffee?
Thomas, I don't know who you are.
Hey, that's family. That's family.
Well, wherever you're located, whatever state you are, go leave your house, take a left, take a right, and there goes Target, and the Starbucks is in there. You can go get it.
Hey, it comes better. It comes different when it comes from you, woman.
I only got one husband.
That's true. I'm sorry, Thomas. I tried, bro.
It's still love, though.
I tried, Thomas. I'm not gonna lie. I tried, bro. Listen, all you guys are my witness. I tried my best. And she gave you directions to the nearest Starbucks to go ahead and get your own. You can't say I didn't try, though. I told you I was going to try, and yeah, I did. All right, so let's go back to U.S. oil, see what we got here. All right, so, yeah, I'm not really an oil trader, man, but let's see what we got here. Overall, guys, we have been very, very bearish right now. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of sell-side pressure. I will be leaning towards more so this thing actually going bullish, though, if you ask me. But I would need to see the lows get taken out first. Right? If we're able to go ahead and take out these lows, then I will be very interested in going ahead and making this thing back to the upside. Like, literally, that would be interesting for me if I was looking at oil personally. All right? But, I'm not really an oil trader. I'll leave that to the oil traders out there. But if I was, that's what I would need to see these lows get taken out. You know, look at this little liquidity pocket right here. And in this pocket of liquidity, I'll be looking for, you know, a move higher. All right, this could be a play here for oil. Something like this. Yeah, I think, yeah, this looks actually pretty good. Right, so that could be a play here on oil. Oh, no. All right. Let's see. Your patience is strong. I mean, you gotta have patience, right? And again, the thing is, like, after 8 years of trading, you develop patience, right? You eventually realize what type of patience you need, right? Because like when I started trading, fam, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate, right? When I started trading, you know, me being a husband, me being a father, me being all these things, I thought I already had patience. But the level of patience a trader needs to have is next level. Right? The level of patience that a trader needs to have is nothing like what we experience in real life. Do you guys agree with me or not? Do you guys agree with me or not? Right? Because we all think we're patient people until we start to day trade. Then we realize how impatient we really are. Right? Like, it's crazy, right? I've always been a very patient person in real life. Until I started to actually trade and I realized how impatient I really was. But I will say this. Because of my patience now that I've been able to develop in trading, it has allowed me to have even more patience with my children. It has allowed me to have even more patience with my wife. It has allowed me to have even more patience with crazy situations that might come up. So it's a good thing though, right? It's a good thing. Let's see what else we got here though. What about me in the UK? I mean, Chase, Chase, I could ask my wife about you too, Chase. I'm not gonna lie, bro. But y'all already heard her answer to the first one. She's very direct, and she probably just gonna give you directions to the nearest Starbucks as well. But I can ask if you really want me to. Chase, if you want me to ask her, I can ask her. But if I get hit at the top of my head, because I keep on asking, then me and you gonna have to talk separately, privately. I'm gonna be honest, right? Because she gonna end up probably smacking me in the back of the head for doing all this. I'm just being honest with y'all, right? But yeah, you know, this is what I'll be looking for here, guys, on oil if I was trading oil. Let's see what else we got here. Join PS, ask Skaggs about oil. Yeah, I mean, I should get Skaggs on the stream telling him, ask his opinion. Let's see what else we got here. Same perspective. I need to see is sweep liquidity down before going to 166. Yeah. Gold is messy today. Gold is gonna, I mean, all USD pairs for the most part, guys, are gonna be super, super choppy, super disgusting, which is why I'm not even looking at USD pairs right now. All right, it's just ugly. They're ugly right now, right? It's a bank holiday over here. Right, it is a bank holiday, so it's really not much that we could do during bank holidays. Let's see. Has accumulation and distribution always existed? 100% it has. All right, guys, these markets are ran off of what? Like, what dictates pricing for assets? Answer this question in the chat. I want a bunch of you guys to answer. What dictates pricing for assets or for even currencies? What actually dictates pricing? Answer that in the chat if you guys know. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm bringing up a graphic for y'all as well so you guys can see this graphic real quick. All right, so let's see. What dictates price? What dictates price? Right? What dictates price? There we go, Brian. There we go, Brian. Right? Supply and demand is what's dictating price. Now, fundamentals is a great answer, right? But the fundamentals is what dictates supply and demand. Right? Based off the data is going to dictate whether people have a certain asset in more demand or not, right? So it's supply and demand that dictates price. But fundamentals dictates what supply and demand is going to do. All right, so it does go tie to tie. So I'll give you guys a point there for fundamentals because that is technically true. But supply and demand is what dictates price. Okay. Now, I got this graphic up right here, family, because I want you guys to also look at this. Right, and it has accumulation and distribution area. Right, accumulation and distribution has been around forever because that just shows us what price is doing within a specific range. Okay. Now, when we are in an accumulation area, accumulation typically happens at the low of a market when we're getting ready to see an increase in demand. Okay? And distribution happens when we start to see an increase in supply. I hope you guys are taking notes, family. Right? I hope you guys are taking notes. Note takers are what? Answer this in the chat. Note takers are what? Right? Because this is important information right here. Note takers are what? Answer that in the chat. Who knows the answer to that? You can't see it. What? What? Why not? Oh, duh. Give me 1 second, family. I be tripping, man. I be tripping. Give me 1 second, guys. Nope, wrong one. Nope, wrong one. Alright, we're back to that. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me fix this for y'all. Man. Why is it not showing?
Did he find the Starbucks?
He did not, but there was homie Chase out there in the UK that also wants it. What kind of advice you got for him, babe? He's out there in the UK though.
I don't know the UK like that.
I mean,
I can't give him directions.
I mean, they got Starbucks out there for sure, right?
Yeah. When we were in the UK, they had
So then give him some instructions, babe. Like give him some directions to get to the, you know what I'm saying? Like get to the UK. All right, so can you guys see the screen now? Can you guys see the graphic now? You guys should be able to see it now, right? Drop a 3 in the chat if you guys can see it. Perfect. Yeah, note takers are money makers. Exactly, right? Note takers are money makers. 100%. All right, so like I was saying, right? All right, perfect. Yeah. All right, yeah, we're good. Perfect. All right, so now that you guys can see this, okay? Again, like I was saying, guys, right? When we are in an accumulating price, that usually happens at the low of a market. And that also is indicative of the fact that demand is starting to increase. When we are at the high of a market and we're starting to distribute, that is indicative of supply being, greater, right? Supply being in control, okay? But if you look at the accumulation and distribution, that has been around forever. That just more so speaks on what price is currently doing, right? Because at the low of a market, when price is cheap, what do investors do when price is cheap? Answer this in the chat. What do investors do? If you are an investor and you see an asset is extremely cheap, what are you going to start to do? Like, what are you going to start to do? Yeah, exactly, right? You're going to start to accumulate those assets. You're going to start to buy. Accumulate it, right? Accumulation. You're going to start to accumulate buy positions. Now, if we are at the high of a market, right? We're at the high of a market now. More times than not, if you entered down here at the lows and now we're at the highs, what are you going to do at that point? You're going to start to sell, right? You're going to start to distribute those assets back into the market. You're going to start to distribute those assets that you had just bought and that now you're in profit on. You're going to distribute those back into the markets, right? So when we are at the low of a market, we're going to be accumulating a ton of assets so that when we get to a high of a market, we can go ahead and distribute those assets back into the marketplace and we can go ahead and collect profit. We can go ahead and make a bag off of that. So just to answer the question, yeah, accumulation and distribution has been around forever. It's just different ways to actually explain what's happening inside of a supply and demand area, if that makes, I hope that makes sense to you guys, right? And that is a very good question too, by the way, right? It really is, because yeah, just info that markup on oil was done on the daily chart. Shout out to my guy George, man. I appreciate you, George. Yeah, so this is done on the daily time frame, by the way, right? So it is a much bigger outlook here on oil, for sure. So yeah, shout out to that guy George. I appreciate you, brother. Right, so I hope this is making sense though, guys, right? Very, very important stuff that we have here for sure. All right, let's go back to what we were talking about now. Let's get back to what we were talking about now, right? All right, so let's go look at GJ. Let's go back to check what GJ is doing. All right, so GJ, I mean, we did get a nice reaction off of there, man. We did get a nice reaction from this level. Again, I'm not in no positions here on GJ. All right, I'm not in no positions here on GJ besides the long position that I'm in from down here. All right, and I will be entering a short if we're able to get up here. I don't know if we're gonna do it, but if we are able to, that's where I will be pulling the button. I mean, I said pulling the button. That's where I will be pushing the button. Okay. Now, for those of you guys that did end up taking the short from right here, because I did say there's a good possibility. We are below the VWAP. We did get some rejections. We finally ended up filling that wick here on the 10-minute time frame, right? So there was a lot of, a lot of opportunity to go to the downside. So if you guys did pull the trigger on this, I mean, depending on where you're entered, you could be up a good 15, 20 pips. Not 20, but maybe 10, 15 pips. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Right, but I'm still very much interested up here, by the way. I'm still very much interested up here. That's where I would like to go ahead and really take some positions for sure. All right, so I got to just continue to be patient, guys. Right? I got to be patient with GJ. Hopefully what we can see, obviously for the sake of anybody that's in this trade, I hope it just continues. I just hope it drops for you so you can go ahead and really eat on this. But what I would be interested in now is if we actually just run these lows and then we're able to rebound, that could possibly lead towards higher pricing here for sure. Right? That could potentially lead to higher pricing. If we're able to see something like that. Right? A sweep of these lows, we might be able to rebound and then we can go ahead and target back up to these highs. Very good potential for that. Right? Very good potential. So that's, again, something I'm going to be waiting for, guys. Again, patience is so important when it comes to this game. You got to really just be patient enough to wait for the right opportunity to go ahead and, pull the trigger. More than anything. More than anything. All right, perfect. So let's see what else we got here, guys. Any other pairs that you guys want to analyze, definitely go ahead and drop them in the chat. Again, I don't mind looking at USD pairs, but I'm really, there's nothing we can really do from them at all, just because it's not attractive at all, right? But I will take a look at gold because I know a lot of you guys were talking about gold, right? And I have a very interesting outlook here on gold personally. Obviously, you guys can see what I have on my screen. We have a ton of areas of liquidity that we could potentially target. We did just grab this liquidity right here. We have this liquidity that we can also go ahead and potentially target. So I do think that we are going to be potentially bullish after a short-term correction here on gold. Like, I would love to see us go ahead and now finally start to break out of this little pattern that we have here, this little descending wedge pennant type of pattern that we have here, and actually start making moves to the upside, right? Like, that's my bias on gold, and that's what I'm going to be trying to play this week. Right, especially now what we seen, what we just happened. We came down, guys. We ended up running this entire low right here. Right, this low, this support, which is phenomenal. This is what we like to see. Right, the market came all the way to this support. Think about how many traders were looking to buy off of here once we came down to here because it's a support. All right, they absolutely got destroyed. Stop losses got completely collected, and then the market completely. It didn't shift too aggressively, but it did technically shift. Right, ended up going back to the upside. So now what I'm looking for, guys, is I'm very interested in see. Right, if we're able to pull back down here to this demand zone one time, right, it's either we're going to pull this to this demand zone or we're probably just going to spike below this level right here, and then we can also look for some continuations to the upside. Right, so it's either going to be something like this, we break below this very momentarily just to capture some liquidity, and then we continue, or we could see a deeper pullback down into the demand zone. Hopefully this demand zone holds, and then we can go ahead and see something like that as well. Right, so those are my perspectives, guys, on gold. I think that there's a good chance that we do start to go ahead and pull back up to the upside. I just see a lot of liquidity that needs to be grabbed first before we continue to do anything else. So that's what I'm looking for here on gold. Now let's go to look for lower time frames. Again, I'm not interested in taking no trades, guys, on dollar pairs today, but let's just see what the market has been doing so far. And we have been doing a whole lot of nothing. Right? We have been doing a whole lot of nothing. Right? Like literally nothing. Right? We opened over here, we shot up, created new highs, and then we just been range bound ever since. Right? So we're really not doing nothing either here, guys. Again, so it's nothing that I'm too interested in here for gold. Now again, granted, we are coming back down. We are retesting an interesting level of structure. right? Price could hold this level and really continue higher, but even then, right, you're trading in a day that's gonna have low volume, right? Volume or volatility is a trader's best friend, right? Volume and volatility is a trader's best friend, right? Trying to trade when there's no volume can lead to just a lot of choppiness. Now, granted, this is gold, all right, and gold is a beast, right? So even if you wanted to say, you know, for hypothetical reasons, right? Again, I'm not telling you guys to do this, but if you guys were, for an example, wanted to say on a low volume type of day, just try to ride it back up to the range, that's possible, right? Like maybe if we go ahead and we drop a little bit, you know, then we could possibly just target right back up to the range, right? But trying to expect the breakout, although it could happen, it's tough to actually go ahead and try to do on a low volume days like today. You know, so if I was looking for something for gold, then yeah, it will probably have to just be, you know, something like this, a short-term move just to stay within the range overall. That is possible for today. If you're interested in something like that, you know, this setup right here, guys, on gold is actually not that bad. All right, this actually looks like a very interesting opportunity here on gold. All right, so this is something that you could look at if you are interested in it. Now, again, this is not bad because we're really not risking too much, right? We're going to be risking around 10 pips, which is nothing for gold. Like, that is nothing, but we're going to be targeting around maybe 30 pips, 40 pips to the upside, right? So, low volume day means lower your lot size or lower your risk. Low volume day, lower your risk. So, if you normally risk 2%, risk 1%. If you normally risk 1%, risk 0.5%, right? Lower that risk on a day that we know is probably going to have low volume, okay? But yeah, I would be interested, guys, if we're able to go ahead and clear these, get down into this level down here, right? Maybe, run this little bit of the support right here. I would love to go ahead and see this thing run that support, get down near that VWAP, and then once we go ahead and we touch that VWAP or get close to the VWAP, you can go ahead and ride it back up to these highs. That's actually pretty interesting. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm actually gonna keep this one on my radar. All right, nice little 3-to-1 risk to reward. I'll take that all day. All right, at the very least, for my rules, right, according to my trading plan, the only trades that I could take are the ones that are at least giving me a 2-to-1 risk to reward. This is giving me a 3-to-1, right? So it falls under my rules. The setup looks good. It looks juicy. We did just break internal range of structure. So yeah, there is a good chance that we do see something like this. There's a high probability that we see something like this. This is actually a high probability setup. Low risk, high probability. Right? When we have a low risk, high probability setup, that is what I consider an A+ trade. This right here could be considered an A+ trade, or not just an A+, but it could be considered an A trade, right? A grade A. So y'all do what y'all want for this. This one it actually looks pretty interesting. Something like that is pretty cool. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's take a look at NAS indices. Let's see what the indices are doing overall, man. So we did have, guys, a pretty interesting sell-off pretty much to finish out the week last week. Now, I am personally a long-term bear of indices. Right? What has been the overall bias of these things? Well, last year, this thing has been on an absolute tear, obviously, but recently we have just been very bearish. Right? Big ranges, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right? We created this low down here, which has probably a lot of liquidity below it. And now we're just creating this new lower high. I would love to see this thing go ahead and continue back to the downside. Right? From the daily perspective, that looks pretty interesting if you ask me. All right, so yeah, I would be looking to go ahead and short NAS. But let's go ahead and really continue to fine tune this, go lower time frame. Right, obviously we are at the low of the range. We have a lot of inefficient price action right here. If I'm looking to short this, then I'm gonna need to see a deeper pullback for sure. All right, I want to see a deeper pullback for sure. If I want to short this, I need to see a deeper pullback. Right, so what we can see is possibly price get below this level, and then hopefully, start to go ahead and correct back to the upside. I would be very interested, guys, in taking some shorts, probably right around this level up here, right? Probably around this 12 12,680, 12,700 probably, I would say. As close as possible to the high of the level. That would be interesting. Right? I would be interested in something like this. Then go ahead and target lower. This could be a potential play here. In fact, it's probably what I'm going to be looking for going into this week. If we're able to come all the way back up here, that would be pretty cool. Now, I see we do have these relative equal highs, which is something that we do got to keep our mind on. You know, we got to obviously pay attention to. In fact, now that I'm really looking at this, guys, I would probably honestly rather have it all the way at these highs just to be safe. All right, I would rather we come up, we run these equal highs right here, where we capture the liquidity above here. You know, we get into this liquidity pocket all the way up at the highs, and in this liquidity pocket is where we really go ahead and we start to shift. All right, that's actually not a bad play here, guys, for NAS, right? So this could be an outlook for NAS that we actually look for throughout this week to see how it actually plays out, right? But that's what I would be very, very interested in. Something like that would be very juicy for me, right? Shorting from up here, long term. Shorting from up there, long term. Okay. Let's see. US 100 will go to 11,700 if he down to 12,400. Waiting to go 12,350. Yeah, I mean, and there is a chance for something like this too, right? The market to actually go ahead and even run this low first, because we do have these lows, we do have structure. You know, there is a chance that we even run that first before we actually go ahead and see this pullback, right? And if we do run the low first, like if we actually run this low first, and then we rebound back inside the range, then I actually might look for buys to get up to this level, right? I might look for reasons to go ahead and jump into buys for us to get up into here. But it really depends on what price does, you know, at these levels. Where it's currently at, I don't really have no interest trading NAS where it's currently at. Why? Because I like entering at the extremes, right? So we're either going to be entering at the extremes right here, under these lows, or after we get above these highs, right? I like to trade, guys, near areas of liquidity, right? Once the liquidity is grabbed, right? Then I have a lot of confidence to go ahead and jump into that trade based off the reaction after the grab liquidity. All right, so that's very interesting. That's something that we can keep our eyes on for sure overall. That I'll be interested in as well for indices. All right, so yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right, let's see what else they said. USDJPY. Let's go take a dollar yen real quick. Dollar yen is also very interesting, guys. So again, we did end up running highs last week. We are seeing a lot more of a reaction, of a rejection of these highs. And yeah, I would be interested in looking for some shorts on this, right? At least for now, I'll be interested in looking for some shorts. But where can we look for some shorts from? Well, again, back at the extremes. All right, I would want to see the market get back up into here. You know, so maybe if we go ahead and break out of this range, this little pattern that we have here, you know, if we can go ahead and see a nice little spike up to the upside, then I would be interested in going ahead and shorting this. I would definitely be interested in go ahead and shorting this up in this liquidity pocket up here. That would be that would be super attractive to me for sure. All right, something like this could be the play. And then go ahead and target to fill this wick. All right, target easily. We're gonna fill this. If we really get what we want and we actually reject from there, guys, then hold it all the way until we fill this wick. This wick will get filled. I mean, even this wick. Even this wick could possibly get filled, right? Wicks get filled. Wicks get filled, right? So even this wicks, guys, I will be targeting these wicks for sure to the downside if we are able to go ahead and get this entry right here, right? So that's my thoughts and opinions on USDJPY as well, family. Okay, looks good. Let's see. I'm waiting to short GN. Can you take a look? Of course, Leah. Of course. Listen, your wish is my command. All right. Is that the right thing? Your wish is my command. Yeah. I said that right? Chat, did I say that right? Your wish is my command. Your wish is my demand. Your wish is my command, or is your wish is my demand? Am I saying this right, family, or am I tripping? Your wish is my command, or is your wish my demand? Or am I just overthinking this whole thing right now? Or is this fat pay getting to my head, not allowing me to think right? I think it's that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm bugging. All right, so let's see what we got here for GBP NZD. So yeah, I mean, this is very interesting actually, right? Because we did end up sweeping these highs, right? We ended up sweeping these highs right here, and then we got a very good reaction off of the sweep of the highs. Let's see. I'm French, so don't know. Shout out to you, man. What is it? You know what's crazy? I was in advanced French class. Yo, I cannot speak today, man. It's this damn frappe. I was in advanced French class, man. So I'm very, very not fluent in French. Je m'appelle Abel. Did I say that right? Je m'appelle Abel. Comme ci, comme ça. Yo, damn, I was like in 6th grade though. That was a while ago. Je m'appelle Abel. I had a whole sentence that I used to say that was fire. Back in the day, I used to use it to get the girls. It was like, très à rendez-vous avec David dans 20 minutes. What, did I even just say anything right there? Très avec... Yeah, bro, this frappe is frying my brain right now. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Je m'appelle Abel. Yeah, I'm not even. This is gonna be a whole class on French, man. I don't know. I'm done looking at that. So let's get back to the charts, man. This frappe is absolutely just frying my brain right now. All right, so GN though, this looks very, very interesting, Leo. It really does, right? Because I love how we sweep the highs and then we got that instant rejection that now broke the lows, or that's now breaking structure, right? That's breaking these wicks, you know, capturing all this sell side liquidity that we have there. Now, for your instincts, you said that you're waiting for the sell, which I agree. I would not want to be selling anywhere near where we're at now, right? It just doesn't make sense. We would need to wait for a pullback, right? We would need to wait for a pullback back to the upside, right? So if we were going to wait for a pullback, where can we pull back to? Possibly right here around this 1 point. Well, we can go 1.93, just a nice round, like, yeah, nice round number, 1.93. This could be an interesting area that we actually go ahead and look for, you know, those shorts from. JL rendezvous avec David dans 20 minutes. What does that even mean? That's like the only thing that I remember from French class. JL rendezvous avec dans 20 minutes. I think that means I have a date with David in 20 minutes. Hey, yo, that sounds wild. What the hell? Is that what I'm saying? JL rendezvous avec dans 20 minutes. You would like to have a date with. All right. So I am getting it, right? JL rendezvous avec David dans 20 minutes. You have an appointment with Dave in 20 minutes. I don't even know where Dave is coming from. Like, who the hell is Dave? That's like the only thing I remember from French class, by the way. Ton français est excellent. Appreciate that. Grossi. How many of you guys are French in the building, family? How many of you guys actually speak French in the chat? All right, how many of you guys speak French? Because this is amazing. We might have to have like a whole separate classes to teach me French. Because I actually like French. I don't know why. And I was in advanced French, but I was in freaking 6th grade, 7th grade. That was like mad long ago. I don't even remember. Oh, man. But shout out to all you guys that are French in the building, man. I appreciate y'all, or at least understand the language, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I appreciate y'all like crazy. Let's see. You said it right. Let's get it. And I'm on the same level as you. Took 4 years French in school, but now I've lost most of it until I start reading. Yeah, no, it's starting to come back when I see a couple of the words. Right? That's dumb funny. Yeah, but shout out to you guys, man. We're gonna have to have some French classes, man. Honestly, like, once I go to France, we're gonna have a meetup, man. We're gonna have a meetup, man. When I pop out to France, we're gonna have a team meetup. We're gonna have a family meetup, and then we're gonna have some lessons for Abel. All right, I teach you guys how to trade. Y'all teach me how to speak French. You guys got a deal, you guys shake on it, right? If you agree to the deal, you guys shake on it real quick, right? I teach you how to trade, you got to teach me your language. And this goes for anybody, by the way, right? Like, how many of you, what different languages do we all speak in the chat? What different languages do we all speak in the chat, family? Because the only two languages that I'm actually really good at is Spanish and English. But what else do you guys speak in the chat, right? Because I'll do a deal with y'all, right? Whenever I pop up to your city, to your state, to your country, I teach you how to trade, but you got to teach me the language of your country. Right? You got to teach me how to speak, because I really do want to be trilingual. I want to be qualingual, if that's even a word. I want to be fivelingual. All right, I want to. That would be pretty dope to have 5 different languages under my belt. I'm fried. Yo, Vision, am I fried, bro? Vision Chasers, am I fried right now, bro? Is this frappe getting in my head? I think I'm fried right now. Let's see. I'm Haitian, speak French and Creole. Okay. Okay, we got Dutch in the building. Shout out to you, Kara. Zulu, Swahili. I'm from Quebec, French, English, and Spanish. Man, I'm trying to be like you. Wait, somewhat I am kind of like you. Just my French got to catch up. My French got to catch up. That's all. That's all. Yeah, but this is actually not a bad setup though here, by the way. Right, Leah, I know I'm over here joking a lot, but this is not a bad setup. Right, this GN could very well actually play out. All right, so definitely keep it on your radar. And if you do take the trade, you know, hopefully it does play out in your favor, and you owe me a steak. You owe me a steak. I'm just throwing that out there, Leah. You owe me a steak if it plays out. Hopefully. Let's see. Hello from Indonesia. What's going on, Indonesia? How are you doing? Shout out to you. I appreciate you for tuning in. Creole is crazy. Yeah, Danny, you know Creole, bro? Let me find out. Hexa, you speak gibberish? I speak a whole lot. I think I've been speaking gibberish this whole session, it feels like, to be honest with you. Because, again, I'm over here fried. So I think I've been speaking gibberish this whole session. Espanol. Let's go. Funny thing is, my last name is Savar Melendez. No way. No way. Word, your last name is Melendez? That's a very cool name, man. Like, that's a very, very cool name. I like that. That's a very, very cool name. I wonder who else has that name. Interesting, right? I'm going to fix this chat, man. I don't like how it looks a little bit. Alright, there you go. That's perfect. Let's see. Spanglish and sarcasm. Shino, you are hilarious. You say your language is sarcasm. That is freaking hilarious. I only know curse words. Good man, thanks. Can you take a look at AUD CAD? Yeah, I can take a look at that for you for sure. I got you. Let's go take a look at AUD CAD real quick. AUD CAD. You said, is it time to sell? This is a good question. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we're working with, right? Well, overall, I mean, we did technically just break out of this little bit of a range. So, yeah, I paused for dramatic effect for some reason. I paused for dramatic effect, by the way. But if we are going to be looking to sell, I'm going to be honest with y'all, right? If we are looking to sell, I mean, we are at a very interesting level. Right? We are at a very interesting level. I'm not even going to lie. All right? We are at an interesting level. You know, that, and if we do start to sell, then I could see us potentially coming below this 0.925, right? Let me go start working my way down time frame, see what we got over here. Let me see what we got over here, right? We did break out of this little bit of a range, but let's see what we got here, right? This is tough. This is a tough one. This is gonna be a tough cookie. I'm gonna be honest. Can I be honest with you? Yeah, I could be honest with you, right? Yeah, I could be honest. I don't even gotta ask permission to be honest with y'all, man. If I'm being honest, what I would like to see for AUD CAD, this is really not the cleanest one. It's not the cleanest one too much at all. It's not the cleanest. If I would need to see the market run these highs one time and then rebound back below it. Like, I would need to see these highs get taken out first, right? Into this actual area of supply up in here. Right? Newfound supply. Like, I would need, yeah, Yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. Maybe a run on the highs, and then if we're able to come back in, then we could possibly look for those shorts. All right, but I wouldn't take no trade unless we actually run these highs first, and then we come back within the range. Right? That's what I would be looking for personally. Okay. I see somebody said gold came to our target. Let's go take out gold. Gold. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, gold. Let's see how this plays out, family. Gold. Damn, gold, you wasn't playing, buddy. You was like, oh, word, Abel. You said you want to word bet. Let's test your gangster, Abel. That's what it's saying right now. They're like, Abel, let's test your gangster, bro. You saying you would buy me right here at these levels? Let's test your gangster, buddy. Yeah, I actually do like it still. I'm not even gonna lie. This does look very interesting. It's just, again, man, bank holidays. Super low risk, guys, if you do decide to take something like this. I'm gonna be honest. Ready? This is interesting. Yeah, I actually still like it. I still like it. I still like it. I still like it. I still like it. Like, I really do. You know, I really do. So, I'm personally going to be looking at taking a trade on this. Super low risk, though, family. Super, super low risk. Give me a second, man. Give me a second, fam. I'm over here setting things up. Gotta bring it out the MT fizzle. Listen, super low risk if you do take it. Super, super low. Like, I'm risking 0.5%. Why? Because it's a bank holiday. The only reason I'm even considering taking this is because we on stream. To be honest with y'all, if it was right now and I wasn't on stream, I wouldn't even be taking it. Like, at all. To be honest with you. So, 0.5%, family. If you risk more than 0.5% and it does not work out, don't come crying to me. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't want to hear it. Do not come crying to me. Man, this thing is pushing. See, now we're at the extremes. This is where we really need to see this is where we need to see a reaction from now. This is what we need to see a reaction from now. Let me make sure my stuff is correct, man. Let me make sure my stuff is correct, man. Oh man, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm really not a fan of pulling this trigger, but I'm gonna pull it regardless. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, family. If I lose on this position because I'm over here going against my rules, somebody owe me a steak dinner. Yeah, this is tough. This is tough. This is tough, man. Let's see. I did execute. I'm in. Like I said, I'm in, man. I'm in though. My stop loss, or not my. I mean, my stops is definitely gonna be around this 1842 level. I do want to give it a little bit of wiggle room, right? So around 1842. But my entry ended up being closer near this VWAP. All right, my entry ended up being a little bit closer near the VWAP. And we're going to let this thing just play out. Man, this thing is tanking, though, family. Like, whoa, this thing is going insane. What's the dollar doing? Is there added momentum? Yeah, look at this. There's added momentum right now, too. The market started picking up steam. Ever so slightly. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I think I'm gonna get. Yeah, this is just. I'm not liking this, family. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. don't look good. Don't look good. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know. We're going to let that play out. Either way, win or lose, man. It don't matter. It is what it is, right? I only risked 0.5%, and I'm only taking it again. And low-key, I'm breaking my rules because I really said literally plenty of time I did not want to trade USD pairs. But I can't leave you hanging, right? Because I know some of y'all is just not going to not pull the trigger. I know some of y'all is just going to pull the trigger whether it's a bank holiday or not. So if we take a L, we taking that L together as a family. I'm not going to let y'all go down like that. We taking that L together like a family. I'm in there with y'all. I'm in there with y'all, man. I'm in there. On the 4 hours, a pullback. On the 4 hour... you guys are hurting my heart, hurting my feelings, man. This is, ooh, this is just disgusting. I'm in there. It already is. I already pulled the button. If I lose 0.5%, that's what I get for trading outside of my rules anyway. So, but other than that, let's see what else you guys got. Hey fam, can you check AU? Of course, go check AU, man. See, even AU, this looks. AU is going to do usually what gold is doing, and this thing looks primed to actually go ahead and drop. All right, AU looks like it actually wants to go ahead and roll over to the downside. And if AU does roll over to the downside, then gold might not work out how we want it to. Yeah, if AU drops, let's see what we got, family. Yeah, the dollar really does look like it might want to go up. The dollar does look like it wants to go up. I'm not even gonna lie, family. We are getting a nice little reaction around these areas. We could come in here and target these trend line. We could realistically go ahead and target this trend line. And that's not looking good for gold. Either way, I'm already in it regardless. It don't matter to me. We're going to deal with the outcome either way. All right, so let's see what else we got here, though. Better don't trade then. I know you're talking about the trade that you wanted. I mean, it's up to you for AUD CAD. I mean, if it follows your rules, then it follows your rules, right? I'm not going to tell you not to do something that follows your rules. For me, though, there's just certain things that I would want to look for AUD CAD before I go ahead and actually pull the trigger. All right, so that's just my opinion more than anything. All right, so family, let's see. I'm over here fried. This frappe got me ready to jump off of a building. Gold itself looks like it might want to break my heart. So yeah, I think I'm done for today. Nah, listen, I'm gonna be honest. If you decide to take this trade, I would wait, right, for gold. Now, if you're not already in gold, I would wait for us to rebound. I'm gonna be honest, right? If you're not in gold, wait for us to get back above this level, if anything, 144. Right? Wait for us to get back above 144 if you're not in it just yet. If you're not in it, wait for price to rebound and get back above 144. Okay? Wait for price to get back in above 144 if you're not in it already. If you are in it, then I'm with you. Right? Let's hold it out. All right? We thugging it out. You know, we only risk 0.5%. Okay? But if you're not in it, wait for price to get back above the 144. That will be my recommendation more than anything. Okay? But family, I do appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. It's been an absolutely phenomenal stream. How long was I on here with y'all? I was on here for a good 2.5 hours or so. Right? If you guys were able to gain some value today, family, go ahead and drop some 7s in the chat. I do appreciate y'all. Absolutely amazing session today. I think it was very dope. Very entertaining session. I had a lot of fun with you guys today. It was dope. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear my daughter over here screaming. You guys hear her? I know you guys can hear her, right? She's like, Daddy. Daddy. Y'all hear her, right? Daddy. So I got to go ahead and be a father as well, family. I appreciate y'all. I will be back on Friday again with another stream on YouTube. For those of you guys that are part of the Prophet Society, you guys know we will be live tomorrow inside of our community. Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, we will be live. We're going to go ahead, get the whole team together. And we're going to go ahead and give you guys some bangers. So if you guys are a part of the Prophet Society family, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you guys are not inside of the Discord family, I will also drop our community Discord in the chat one time for you guys really quickly. So if you guys do want to be a part of our Discord, we do have a Discord as well, family. Just let me get this link. And you guys are more than welcome to go ahead and join the Discord, and I will see you guys in the Discord as well, right? So family, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. Hope you guys got some value, and I'll talk to you guys all a little bit later. Now I gotta go ahead and be a father. All right, y'all. Family, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Let's get it.